Hey, what's going on? Soap with Fazio. This is the shitty podcast. I don't know what we're doing here. What are we doing here, Fazio?
I don't know. I think I just said I wanted to do another one of these, and you're nice enough to invite me back onto your show.
No, it's not that. No, you invited yourself, and I just. Why would I say no? I mean, yeah. So I heard you had some show recently that you. Because let's be honest, you've had a lot of shitty shows lately.
Yeah.
And you had a couple. I think you had 2 shows where you were kind of back into your game. Where was that at? The Laugh Factory?
Yeah, I had a Comedy Store show where I did really well.
Good. Did you get it on tape?
It's hard with the Comedy Store.
They don't allow it.
They don't allow you. I could have tried and snuck one in because I would have loved to have seen it myself. Because again, I did pretty well that night. But otherwise, I think it was okay. Just for me, it was great to have a good show after having some really, really bad shows for like 5 or 6 months.
You know what though? I still think it's kind of cool to have so many in a row and still do it. I think that's cool.
I felt like I was at least like getting somewhere. Like even though I was bombing. And I was doing pretty bad. I felt like every bomb was a way to get to a better state.
There's a guy, I forget the name of him, but he does a lot of YouTube videos. He works at some comedy club out in New York City, and he has a lot of tutorial things, like just tips, take it with a grain of salt kind of thing. And he said, don't take bombing as bombing, take it as a learning experience. Which kind of puts a positive spin, which is kind of gay, but it does make sense. And I think everyone bombed at ALA. Maybe not G.
I'm trying to think.
I don't think G.
I think G did well.
Yeah, he did well. I think Justin did well, and everyone else. I don't want to say Gary did. I don't want to say Gary bombed because he hasn't been doing it enough to really. I think he did well for what he was, but like you and I think both did pretty poorly.
Yeah, I think there were probably different reasons for that. I think you did better than I did. Really is just, you had drunk a lot. I mean, you're going to get that. I mean, that's just kind of where you're going to be at if you're going to do a show like that. Like, I'm not trying to be insulting or anything.
No, it's not a good thing.
Yeah,
but I didn't
clearly you were not, I was surprised you could even stand. Honestly, when I was watching you on stage, it was pretty impressive.
I did not. Yeah, actually, I think I did stumble in the video. I stumbled a little bit. I couldn't keep my projection on the actual mic. I was like talking away from it as if I was in a conversation. It's very, very, very. That was clear cut bombing, but I enjoyed it, so I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, I think it's got to be what matters. Like even like me, when I bomb at a show, like I'll try and. If I know I'm going to bomb, I'll try to make it the biggest bomb that I can.
Bring everybody
down with me. Like if I'm going to do bad, then nobody's going to be having a good time.
Yeah, I like that mentality because some people will say, "Oh, well, a professional will turn it around." Well, you know what? Fuck being professional. I'm selfish. If you think I suck, well, fuck you. You suck too. So let's all suck together. That sounds like an orgy. And
I've seen big name comics bomb. It's not. Always like, if you're a professional, you can turn it around. Well, sometimes professionals can't.
Yeah, absolutely. 20-year vets will still have bad shows.
I've seen Dane Cook bomb twice, actually.
Yeah, it happens. But the good thing about being a 20-year vet, if you're at that point, is when you bomb, you know how to handle it, and you know that that's not reflective of you. Interestingly enough, this last thing that I did that I bombed. Kind of made me feel good about myself. I don't know why. I can't explain it. Something to talk to my therapist about.
Well,
you bombed harder than
that.
That
is interesting that you say you enjoy bombing, because I never enjoy bombing when I do it, but I try to at least learn something out of it, where I can go why did I bomb? So I like to film my shows and watch them back so I can see the beginning of it. Okay, so where did I lose the audience? What did I say? Was there some kind of motion I made with my hands, or was my face not right?
I think.
Or was this a joke not funny? That's all the stuff that I have to look back on.
For the thing at ALA, I think it was just the audience was, they were trained to expect a set, and it didn't seem like you were doing that. You were just kind of going, and they weren't ready for that. It's like jumping in the pool without knowing how to swim. The audience couldn't swim.
I don't blame the audience at all. I'm
not saying that. They just wanted something different.
For me, it was my problem is, and I think that's why I was bombing the last like 4 or 5 months, is I would kind of go onto stage less prepared than I'd want to be, where I would like have like a half-baked idea and like, oh, maybe will that be funny? That's kind of, but then I won't really go anywhere with it. Like that's what I did at ALA. I came on with like a doll or something and started like, and it wasn't like it wasn't working because I didn't really have any jokes for them. It's like, hey, what if I did this? I wasn't thinking like, hey, where's the set here? Where's the routine? Well, see, and I think that really screwed me over.
You learn that if you're going to do something like that, it has to have a lot of preparation around it and everything.
It does, and you know me as the improv comic likes to talk to people and stuff. So sometimes I can kind of trick my mind to think like, oh, I can get away with it. I'm good with improv. But I'm like, no, if I'm going to do something like really out there, then I have to have like every word like planned down to a T. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Everything has to be planned. I actually have. I looked at my jokes for ALA that I had planned to say, and I have about 3 pages worth of jokes, and they're unused. So I'm going to use them at AX. And one of them involves the audience. One of them involves someone in particular in the audience. But the thing is, the comment at this particular person, whoever I find, my point, I like to target the prettiest people that I see just to kind of break them.
They're always they always have great responses too. Like I always try to hit on like a hot chick or something.
No, I don't want to hit on them. I want to make.
I mean, what I'm saying is that like I'll interact with them. Like for me, like my joke is usually I'll hit on some hot chick and be creepy. You know, I know they'll always get like weird responses because usually the pretty ones are always the loudest, which is what I like as well.
Yeah, they're asking for it, but I like to make them feel fat. So
nice.
Like I have this joke where I'm specifically calling out a pretty broad and making her ugly, and it's a really quick joke that doesn't need a punchline. But if nobody gets it, I have a punchline prepared for it. So for me, anyways, when you go on stage and it looks like you're ad-libbing, it's because you've planned it to make it seem like that way, and then you have backups in case it doesn't work, so nobody noticed that you just fucked up on a joke. I think I learned that from ALA.
That's how I try to. No, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
That and something we both know: don't drink before you go on.
Yeah, I was just having a conversation with that because I went to a party last night. I got to talk to some guys I knew from comedy shows, and some of the AX regulars I see there, and Amasa was there too, and we were just talking about that. I was talking about like comedy, like what I was doing, and even they were like suggesting, oh, maybe you should just have a drink or something if you're gonna be nervous. I'm like, I can't do that anymore. I can't. I can't like have a shot or have a drink before going on stage because ever since I stopped doing it, I've been so clear in my head. Like everything was so much. My rambling improv was turning into like more coherent improv, at least in my eyes. And I really like that because, like I told you before, I don't like to do like the drug kind of nervous thing anymore, which is what I was known for early on at these anime conventions where I would go up on stage. Even like 2009, people were like, oh, he just dropped a bunch of E, it's Fazio. I'm like, I've never done E in my life, but I can play that character really well.
Yeah, that's not, you haven't been that in a long time.
It's because I think it's cheap humor, I really do. And I, like, even like in 2000.
If it's real, it's not. I mean, if you...
for me, it wasn't real. I just knew that was funny because I'd seen enough, Mitch Hedberg impersonators that I could do something.
Exactly what I was going to say. Mitch Hedberg, it was real for him, so that made it funny.
He died from it.
Yeah, he did.
How real it was.
As long as it's real,
Yeah, for me it wasn't coming from a real place. It was just coming from the fact that I knew I could do that, and I knew that I would get really nervous on stage, and I just kind of used that to my benefit.
That's what irritates me about people when they approach me after a show or a day after or something, and they talk to me expecting me to be a nice person, and what I do on stage is who I am, and then they get shocked, and like, the reason why you liked what I did so much is because it was honest. People don't realize that the honesty is what you like, whether you realize it or not. It's irritating.
Right.
People are like, oh, you really like... Yeah, I'm really like that. That's why you liked what I did, you fat cunt.
No, there's that realism there. I mean, you kind of exist in this really interesting pocket, I think, as a comedian, where you can do all these things, and you can say all these terrible things, and it's, like, normal to us, because we know who you are, and we know that's kind of the character that you portray. So when you tell, like, I'm an asshole, it's like, we expect that, so...
Yeah.
It's, it works. So it's like when you're an asshole even to, like, other people, like, when we had these podcasts, and I've heard your other podcast, like, I heard the one with Trung. That was actually another reason why I wanted to have this podcast. I want to have a little bit of a response to Trung, which I really liked what he was saying on your podcast. Because I know I've said some stuff about him in the past.
I think I said some stuff straight to his face.
Yeah.
Or not
you were,
really.
You were very civil, actually. I really respected that. You weren't just like...
Well, I'm not gonna talk shit just for the sake of talking shit, but, Go on.
But we're hearing what he said, that he was responding to the comments that I had made and others had made about him being really racist, him saying that he wanted to prove me wrong. And I'm like, that's great. I really like that attitude. So now I am really excited to see his next shows, which I wasn't before I heard him talk about it.
Yeah.
So if he can turn it around, like, I like this process. I like what he's talking about comedy. I like how he said he wanted to be a writer for sitcoms, because that's what I want to do too. So I can relate to a lot of what he was talking about and how he kind of comes up with jokes. So yeah, I'm starting to really like Trung now.
Yeah, me too.
You had that podcast.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same way. I don't want to say I respect him, and I never hated him, but I didn't give a shit about him. And the fact that he's taking it seriously, I think it's neat. And
yeah.
I've been following Danny's YouTube channel just to see if he's uploaded anything yet, and he hasn't. And rightfully so. He's got his convention, which I keep plugging, and I'm going to do it again. It's called NinjaCon. Tickets went on sale 2 days ago. I'm pretty sure nobody's bought any. And you know what? I say that, and people are like, oh, that's me. Yeah, that's what I do. I'm honest. I'm pretty sure no one's bought a ticket.
His first attempt at a convention. These things take time, and maybe like you're 3 or 4, maybe he'll start breaking even.
I'm not saying I respect him for doing it, but the fact that he is doing it is like, so I'm going to give him a pat on the back, and this is what my pat is. NinjaCon, go to it, because I'm not going to.
We talk about this a lot with Danny, in that we both agree that he's not very funny. But at least for me, I really appreciate that he puts us nerd comics on stage.
Well, again, I have to make that distinction. I'm not a nerd comic.
All right. Okay, for somebody like me, even like me, I'm not really a nerd comic, but I just...
No, you are.
Scene.
You are.
Okay, I'm pretty nerd.
you're okay, there's a certain style of comedy that exists now. It's kind of a postmodern comedy, and in it, I think you have the potential to be something worth laughing at. But I'm not a postmodern comic. I'm kind of more traditional Don Rickles kind of thing. And
insults, like the Bill Hicks kind of stuff.
Not so much insults, but honesty, and I don't care about how you feel about it. If it hurts your feelings, that's your problem. That's how I see it. You got to learn not to take offense to what I say. If it doesn't apply to you, then don't get offended. If I talk shit about someone being autistic and you're not, don't get offended. Like, my kids are autistic.
Yeah.
I'll make jokes all the time, but it's not about them. It's like saying you make fun of one black person, you're making fun of all of them. No, you're not. That's how I see it. Maybe
and it works really well with your comedy. I feel like it's weird. It's weird to me. Maybe it's because I'm a comedian that people don't get what you're talking about. When you're on stage and you see people come up to you and they'll be like, "Oh, you're not really that person." I'm like, that seems so weird because you're so genuine on stage. How could somebody not think you're really like that?
Yeah, well, I think it's part of the problem is that most of the attention I've got hasn't been from open mics in San Francisco. It's been from Anime Expo and all the other conventions. And people at conventions are generally happy, or at least they fake it really well, and they want to act like they're happy. And when they see someone like me who's my character on stage happens to be who I really am, they're kind of thrown off. Like, why are you here if you're so unhappy? Well, I'm here because I'm unhappy. I like mocking you idiots. No disrespect to the people that actually like me. You're not idiots because you like me. You're smart enough to get it. Yeah. So, what was that about Trung? I mean, what were we talking about?
Well, I was just talking about how I really respected what he was talking about. On the other hand, he's still guilty until proven innocent. To me, I really got to be able to see that show where he does what he says.
Well, I believe that I don't necessarily assume he's actually any funnier, but I believe that he stayed away from what didn't work. So
it's definitely a step in the right direction, and I don't know. I kind of came to a realization. I don't know if it's really came to a realization, but it's something I always think about. How I guess some of the other nerd comics must view me as a person, or even just as a comedian, because I speak a lot. As you know, not just to you, but on our Facebook board. I'll talk about this. This is killing comedy. This is great. This is not killing comedy. And I have to imagine that a lot of people have to think of me as really arrogant or pretentious because I talk about this stuff, right?
It probably, but the reason why I don't is because I know, I understand what you mean, and maybe that makes me pretentious too. I don't know, or maybe it means we know what the fuck we're talking about. I don't know.
It was like last night at this party. I won't name names. But some of the comedy guys I was talking about, because some of the comedy guys that are on the board and all that were there, and I was talking to them, and they said that it came when I was talking about the racist material and how we should stop doing it. They said a lot of people thought I was being a holier than thou person, and that I should have said it in a different way.
Okay, well, water under the bridge. At the end of the day, no one's going to care.
I'm actually okay now. For the first time, or I'm starting to get okay with the idea of people not liking me.
See hating me. See, the difference between you and I, and this is actually, except for Trump, this is actually goes for everyone. Everyone had support. I was booed off stage. You remember that? You remember?
I think I was the one guy that supported you that night.
Well, there were a couple, and I partied with them. But
yeah.
But I did the audition. I seem to have killed at the audition. And then, you didn't perform in that one, did you?
No, I did. That was 2008, right? Or
yeah, 2008.
Yeah, I did perform that year.
Okay, you had the guitar.
Yeah, because what I did is my audition wasn't even jokes. I just walked around doing the Mitch Hedberg drug thing because I was so nervous. And people were that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. But the next day when I went to perform, I can't do that. That's so cheap. I didn't do any kind of material. I felt really wrong doing it. So I did some dumb stuff with the guitar, which I wasn't really good at the time, and just made a fool of myself. I absolutely one of my best friends was there watching me, and he even told me afterwards that I did one of the worst performances he'd ever seen. Yeah. So, it's good to have that kind of honesty. But what I was talking about is that I'm.
Well, okay. I had a point too, but go ahead.
Okay, well, your point, your podcast, your point.
No,
first.
Go ahead, go.
I don't fucking.
Go now.
Just say quick is that I'm okay with people hating me now because I know that as long as I'm doing what I want to do, I'm okay with. Because when I was a kid, I was picked on in middle school and all that stuff.
Shocking.
I know.
I cannot believe
I'm
that.
breaking news here.
People picked on you?
At the Regrettable Podcast. This is
who could do that? Pick on you? I mean, you have glasses. You have that Mo haircut. You walk like Fred Flintstone. Who could pick on you?
I got these photos back here of what I used to look like as a kid. I'm just what the fuck? I look even weirder then than I do now.
You know I'm kidding, right?
I know.
Okay.
I love you. But
no, let's not cross that line.
I was making a point was that I was so I don't know, maybe I was just traumatized or something as a kid where I was called loser and faggot every single day of my life in middle school and all that. And then once I started becoming funny and popular, I just was so fearful of people hating me because I didn't want to go back to that state of being that loser nerd kid. And I feel now though I'm going back to I'm okay with people hating me. Mm-hmm. As long as I'm doing what I want, I'm not going to let somebody's oh, what you did is wrong, that you shouldn't do that. I don't want that guy to hate me. I better change what I'm doing. And I'm trying to get away from that now, which I think is what you've always told me, too.
Have I?
I don't know. You told me not to worry about what people think, and I think that's my biggest problem in comedy, and probably why I was bombing for so long, is that I was way too self-conscious, and I still am, but it's something that I struggle and fight with every day.
The way I see it, you have to discover who... I've said this before. You have to discover who you are, and then be that. And no, many people will not like it, but you will find your audience. And I accept that most people don't like me, but the people that do... There's a certain breed of human that likes what I do, and those are the people that I don't mind sharing a pint with, you know? Like all these fake people coming up just because I won... because they want a minute of the spotlight with me. You can smell it in them. And like, I would never buy you a drink. But somebody, like there was this one girl, I keep mentioning her. I don't know, I wish I got her name. She's really pretty. And she's blonde, which is weird because blondes are normally hideous.
Right.
And she's always in a Lolita. And like for like 3 years, she came up saying how good I was. And then she came up when I won. She's like one of that breed that kind of gets the assholery or something. I don't know.
Your audience is smart. I mean, the stuff you're doing is really intelligent, but it's disguised behind this I guess facade or whatever the word is of really crass, kind of almost like dumb sounding jokes. But I mean, if you really look at like even like the racist stuff you say, which is again really the only racist stuff that I would really approve of because it's really funny. And you use it in a way that nobody else is doing, and you do it in a way that's very crass, and it's very, in its own way, down to earth, but it's smart at the same time. I feel like that's your strength.
I actually have a lot of good racist stuff for the LCS this year. It's
Nice.
going to be funny. I'm actually going to mock... You know what? I'm not going to spoil too much now.
Yeah.
But anyways...
Well, then you get a full set because you're going to be a judge this year.
No,
so
I don't get a full set. I think
you get like a whatever they give you like you open up the show or something.
I think I get 5 or 6 minutes, which sucks.
Oh, that's lame. It should be like
so
10 minutes.
short. I need like at least 20. At this point in my life, in this stupid...
If you feel like you're strong enough, if you can do 20 minutes, some comedian gave me this tip, is that if you can do 25 minutes, you should film it, and then send it to different clubs.
Yeah, I'm working on that. I actually, I mentioned this before on this stupid, shitty, dumb thing that nobody listens to. I applied for a panel at Anime Kanji, and being the selfish cunt that I am, it's just for me. Like you have, go ahead and plug what you have. You have.
Yeah, I'm not going to jinx anything because it hasn't been approved yet. But I did submit a request to do a Fazio versus anime at Anime Kanji.
Which will probably make it.
Which is my version, I guess, of what you would do. Except mine's, I'm really nice to people, and you're just going to yell at people.
I'm not going to yell at people.
It's the exact opposite kind of show, I think.
I'm not going to yell, but it's like, I am so ready to do 40 minutes of comedy. I really am. Even if I fail, I'm ready to fail.
I'm going to see it, dude. I will come to your show, and I will laugh harder than anybody else there.
Probably. I hope I get it. If I don't, then I won't show up. I mean, because if I do get it, I'm only showing up for that because I don't have all this money.
Oh, same. I mean, same with me. Is I'm just showing up the day of my panel. Hopefully our panels are on the same day. So
yeah, that would be.
Come check out your thing. It's not the same time, but like on the same day at least.
Yeah, that would be convenient. I'm really excited to see who's gonna show up this year at the LCS. I'm excited. I hope people like learned not to just be raunchy for the sake of being raunchy, and just kind of go up there and be themselves. But God, you know what I didn't like last year? What I really didn't like was it wasn't really you. It was some of the other judges during the audition. They would like do things that were kind of distracting, as if they're relevant, and it's like. Dude,
well, I wasn't even at the auditions this last year because it was during
2 years ago.
Panel.
Then it was 2 years ago.
I had a Fazio versus anime panel, so I couldn't make it.
It was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago.
Oh, when I was one of the judges,
and then you became.
I was the host that year.
Yeah, you and Greg were.
Me and Greg, yeah.
But all that distracting shit, it's like you're not important enough to be doing that, and you're not funny enough to be doing that. So if this person is gonna suck. Let them suck.
I got really drunk during those auditions, which is another reason why I don't do stuff like that anymore. I was literally just chugging. You were there. I just fucking showed the bottle to everybody. I was like, I'm chugging this down. I made a fool of myself. I was handing out like pony pictures or something.
Yeah,
that's why I don't drink anymore. Like before shows.
I don't think I have mine anymore. No disrespect, but like,
that's totally fine. You don't have to. I'm surprised you even bring it up that you still have.
I don't throw anything that's given to me away, but I do lose things.
I printed that out off like my really crappy printer at home, so it's not. I'm not going to lose sleep. Yeah, over it.
Oh, excuse me. I've been burping all night, but I've been muting it, so yeah. That was a juicy one.
It gets gas out, man. It's good for you.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's a good. Yeah, the fucking burp parties, right?
Burp parties? Is that happen?
Is that a thing? Is that sexy? Is that a sex act where you burp into like a vagina or something?
It probably.
You seem like you're familiar with stuff like that.
Well, there's queefing.
Fetishes.
Queefing is the same thing.
Yeah,
but,
that's the vagina fart.
But you don't get that when you're like going down on them. You get that when you're fucking them because of the air and stuff.
But they don't actually. But so I don't have any. There's no farting unless you're fucking them. They can't just let out a queef while you're.
No, it doesn't work like that at all. No. First of all, in order to queef, you have to be really, really aroused as a woman, and you have to be really wet. And I've fucked so many women.
Well, I can eat them out pretty well. So let's say I do a 10 out of 10 eating them out. Am I going to get a face full of queef?
No, not really.
That's kind of terrifying.
Because it's there's a science to it. When you pull out the cock, it creates a vacuum, and with all the moisture, it just And I've heard it so many times. And what I hate is when you're doing your broad and she queefs and she doesn't laugh at it. That's when I know it's not going to work. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't laugh at your own stupidness, your silliness, it's silly. It's funny.
It is. No, there was a whole South Park episode about that.
I don't watch South Park, so I wouldn't know.
I don't either. No, South Park's pretty bad now, but they have an episode about queefing.
How can you act like that didn't happen? Like, I was with my ex-girlfriend in the shower, and I know my current girlfriend is going to hate hearing this because she listens to this like a badger, but I was with her in the shower, and I just, I was determined to make her fart. So I did. I made her fart twice, and it was the funniest shit. We laughed about it for like 3 hours.
It's true love.
No, it wasn't. But it's good. It's healthy to laugh at yourself.
I think that's what's missing from a lot of relationships is that element of fun. I mean, for me, the best ones that I've ever been in were the ones that you could joke around, even when you're having sex or being intimate, just laugh around, joke around and stuff. I think that's healthy, and I think that's what everybody should be doing.
Yeah, not everybody, but there's a certain type. I remember fucking one of my exes, and when we were together, and I was tearing into her, and then I just kind of stopped and acted like I was gonna throw up on her. She's like, bleh! And she got this weird, oh my god! And then she realized it was a joke, and she was cool with it, and I fucked her afterwards.
That's pretty. I mean, for me, my chick's gotta be funny. Next time I have a girlfriend or something, they gotta, because sometimes a chick will just say something so stupid, it just boggles my mind. I'm instantly turned off. I hate that shit.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Stupid people in general are
just
pretty
repugnant.
In general, yeah. But they come in droves at anime conventions.
It's anywhere. And anime is a very specific type of stupid that comes in. It's the same as you go to a sporting event or wherever you're going to get a lot of people. Most of them are going to be stupid, and they're going to be going
pliable.
Getting loud and all that stuff. Just nerds. Nerds kind of self-entitled.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like. This is a self-righteous thing to say, and I know it, so I'm saying it first. But this is what happens when we discourage bullying. Nerdy faggots think way too highly of themselves. I'm not saying put yourself down, but put yourself in perspective.
I think that's absolutely right. As somebody who was bullied for many years, I have to say it completely made me tougher, and I'm really glad that it happened to me. Because now I can go into the real world and say, well, you're going to bully me? Fuck, I already dealt with that, and I'm good with it. Now I'm going to move on and be a man. And kids need that. They can't be coddled or told they're special. It's in a lot. It happens a lot. I don't know what this like emperor mentality that we're passing on to our kids, but it spoils them, and it doesn't make them ready for society, where their macaroni pitchers aren't going to get them into any goddamn job. They have to actually work at it.
Like, the perfect example, I said some shit at on a YawiCon board, and I'm getting a lot of rebuttal for it, because I was actually instructed not to mention it, and once you tell me not to do something, this is the same for, I think, every comedian, every actual, like, in their heart comedian. When you tell them not to do something, that's the first thing they want to do. Like, would you agree to that?
I think it's just I don't know. I feel like it's a very childlike mentality, but I have it too.
Yeah,
where somebody tells like, hey, don't eat that. I'm like, I hate that food, but I'm going to eat it anyway
because you said not to. Yeah, it's like,
don't eat that dog crap. Like, well, you're not my boss.
Exactly. And basically what happened. Maybe I shouldn't say it. I'm kind of thinking, should I say it or?
I don't care, dude.
Yeah, but
whatever you want.
I do, because I still want to be a Bishonen in 2014. So I don't want to jeopardize. But the point, okay, I'll just paraphrase.
Okay.
Someone called me out on something that I had nothing to do with.
Okay.
So ever since then, I've constantly kind of made subversive, underhanded jokes about that, and it's pissing people off. And this one girl starts messaging me privately about how much of a cunt I am in her own polite way. Literally, she opened up the conversation with greetings, and for some reason that bothered me.
Who does that? Who talks
exactly?
Like that?
And so I started like, greetings. What the fuck century are you from? Who said? If you don't say it in real life, don't type it. That's how I feel. And she said, "Oh, I was just trying to be polite instead of saying blah blah blah. You're a cunt." And I was like, you know what? I would respect you if you actually said that.
No, there are tell words like that where you just know they're trying to be better than you, or they're trying to like.
Yeah, these people are.
There's like certain things, like when you're in a text box or if you hear somebody say something, you're like, okay, this is not going to be a fun conversation, and they're doing it absolutely on purpose. And if they just said, "Hey, what's up?" you'd be like, "Cool, I'll talk to this person," because they're not. Nothing ever good comes from greetings.
No, it doesn't.
It's never a happy conversation. It's not like greetings, you won the lottery. Unless it's Christian. It's always like greetings, we need to have a talk.
Unless it's Christian Slater and Heather's greetings and salutations, and then he pulls out a Magnum. The thing is, this girl that was like giving me shit, not this other girl, but the main girl, she was like, "Thanks for sticking up for me, guys." So I just jump in and saying, "Yeah, you guys are real heroes." I mean, it's like, I can't help it, And I made a point to add this girl on my friends list, and I'm pretty sure she's rejected me by now. So I'm going to constantly add her as a friend. I don't know. It's annoying. Is it harassment? Is that harassment?
It's what you want to do. Like I'm trying to.
I want a friend.
I think your point is that you just really like to piss off douchebags, which is great.
And I don't give a fuck.
That's way strong.
I don't give a fuck, and that's a huge problem, because my not giving a fuck is going to get me kicked out of the Bishonen community sooner or later, and it makes me sad because I love that attention, but I know I'm going to lose it because the person that I am is a prick.
I think you just got to weigh the odds. I can, from my perspective, when I think about like what I should and should not say on stage, usually, unless it's like a good friend or something, like says, "Hey, what you said that kind of insults me personally. Can you not do it?" I'm like, okay, because if I have a really good friend who's like, "Hey, don't tell that story," even though it's really funny, don't do it in your act. I'm like, yeah, because I respect friendship more than I do the joke. So that's my only time where I won't make a joke about something when it's something personal like that.
I'm nice, despite what anyone thinks. I had a joke about Indian people that I think everyone heard at AX. I had it ready for Fanime, but I didn't say it because there was a dude in the front row with a turban, and I didn't want to take any chances. So yeah, I'm nice.
Yeah.
But if someone says that don't do that joke, that I don't like that. But if you say, you know that joke you did, it really hurt my feelings. If you say it that way, then I'll choose not to say it. But if you say don't say it, fuck you. I'm going to say it just to piss you off. I would rather lose the friend than to be controlled. And maybe it's petty of me, but you know, I don't want to...
It's a give and take. I think you're absolutely right. I mean, if it's somebody that you respect that comes up to you and says, like, hey, don't tell that joke, then, you know, and you feel like, hey, you know, yeah, I won't tell the joke. But I've had other situations where people were just, like, idiots and come after me. It's like, what you said was really offensive, and I didn't appreciate it. Like, what you said to me was... I'm like, fuck you, I'm going to tell this joke every night now. You know, like, because sometimes you'll just get people that are really... overly self-conscious, and they think that they're better than everybody else, and they have to come up to you and say, like, hey, you know, whatever, my son died in an airplane or something like that. And it's like, this is what you want to do? This is how you're spreading your memory of your son? Is you're going to tell every comedian to not do an airplane joke now? Like, what the hell? Is this your big mission in life? Like, shit like that really bothers me. When people are, like, so self-righteous about shit like that.
On that point, I think I'm better than everyone, but not because I'm actually better.
I agree.
But I accept that I'm worthless. No one else accepts it. Everyone believes in themselves, and no one believes that you're really pretty unimportant. You're only important to the people around you, and even them, you're only important because you provide a service that they need.
Now, I just read an article that said, like a cracked article or something that gave the exact same point, is that all relationships, whether you want to admit it or not, are based off you giving the receiver something, whether it's money or a talent or something. It's the same argument why...
Pussy.
It's the same argument, like pussy or something like that. It's like why a writer isn't really a writer until he writes something. A guy who talks about being a writer is never a writer until he actually produces that service of writing something, or any kind of art. Or the comedian, the guy's like, oh, I've always wanted to do stand-up, but I never had the guts. Like, well, then you're not a stand-up comic, and you're not going to do it until
you do it.
Yeah, and that's when I realized, like, why people are always thinking of me as, like, the comedy guy. And that for years, like, wow, you know, I do other stuff too, but then I realized, wait, no, I don't really do anything else. I do comedy. You know, I have a bunch of other stuff that I kind of do, but that's the service that I provide. So that's why I would become known as a comic among you guys and my friends.
I try not to call myself a comedian because the way I see it, I haven't been paid for it. Like, I will call myself a writer because I've been paid for writing. Nobody knows it.
You call yourself an amateur comic. You don't have to call yourself a professional.
No. I don't even do that.
You've won the Anime Expo. You've done, these shows. You can call yourself a comic. It's not as cut and dry as you're making it out to seem.
But for me, it's like being a Marine and the blood stripe. I don't feel I've earned it. I haven't suffered enough. I haven't had enough. I haven't been tested enough. In my opinion, for me to consider myself a stand-up comedian, I haven't been tested enough.
Me neither. So I don't think none of us have. None of these people, even out of all the people that we know that you've had on your show, none of us are enough to be comedians.
But I think out of the lot of us, only you and I are the only ones that really care.
The other closest one is G, who I think is really funny. He just doesn't do it enough.
Yeah, but
he tells me that.
He doesn't care that much. I mean, he's got a different world that he lives in.
He does the cosplay and he does the voice acting.
Yeah, that's what he does.
That's what he does. It's the same with like Anton, who we know is really funny, but he's into the MMA.
Yeah.
So it just kind of leaves us as the people who really even like me. I'm kind of with Trung, where I'd rather be a writer and a director than a stand-up comic, but I really like to be on stage and tell jokes. That's kind of why I keep with it.
As much as I hate. Oh, sorry to everyone listening. I just moved the microphone. Sorry about that. I really hate that when people do that, when they move too much during a recording or something, and then you can hear every little thing. Now I forgot my point. Oh well.
I was talking about. I don't know. I was talking about what I think about comedy. I like to write comedy. I like to write jokes. I like to create situations. I like to write for other people. I think almost more than myself, because when other people, I know exactly what kind of person they are.
So you think
an audience.
Do you think you could write for me?
I could write for you. Absolutely.
You know what? Let's test that. Write me a chunk.
Oh, fuck.
I'll like give. What do you want? Like $5? Because I will pay you. Because that's fair.
Yeah, I will do anything for $5. That's where I'm at.
I will pay you $5 to write me a chunk, And if I get the anime kanji panel, I will use that chunk and see if it works. And if it doesn't, I'm going to blame you for it.
Is there anything specifically you want me to write about?
No,
Okay, well, I know you as a comic, I think, really well. So, okay, I'll think of something. I'm actually kind of excited now. This sounds actually kind of fun.
I will PayPal.
That's the gayest way to describe it. This is going to be fun. I'm going to write a fucking racist joke for soap, you know.
I really will. I will pay you $5 for a chunk just to see if you because I like to call people out on their shit. No disrespect. You're a friend of mine.
Yeah.
But, you're not exempt from my calling.
No, absolutely. And I've written for other people, too. Like, mainly script stuff. Like, people come up with me, like, coming up to me an idea. It's like, hey, this is this and this, and I'll kind of expand on it, and I'll ask them the important questions. Because when you're writing a project, or when you're writing a joke or something, because you're so in deep with it, like you're so close to it, sometimes you can't ask the right questions as you're writing it that an audience member needs to know. Mm-hmm. Like when you're like writing a script, you may really like a character that's completely unnecessary and should actually be taken out of the script. Mm-hmm. And you need some
but it's just because you're personally into them.
Yeah.
But that damages the story.
It's the same with comedy, because I noticed this when you're talking to Trong, and this is something that's very common, that when you tell like a long-form joke, you don't realize how much of it you don't need to say.
Mm-hmm. Like yes! That is the very first thing I learned, is to keep your jokes tight.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as writing, because like I started as a writer. Like I said, I'm a writer. I'm not a comedian. I'm a writer. I've been paid for it. And the first thing they tell you is if you don't need it in there, don't have it in there.
Yeah.
And when you're doing a chunk that isn't constantly punchline, and then real punchline, it's a waste of people's time. It's too much setup.
I agree, and people will sometimes try to argue against me, well, look at like Ron White. He just tells these really long stories. Like, well, hold on, look at exactly what Ron White is doing. Like, yeah, he tells really long form jokes, but every single thing he's saying is necessary, and every single thing adds on to that final punchline. It's
part of the plot. Like, comedy is a lot similar to writing a screenplay. I think.
Yeah.
When everything you say has to progress the story. It has to be a part of it.
And in that story, that story is this character that you're presenting on stage. I feel comedy, the best comedy, is a mixture of storytelling or writing and magicianship, actually. Because what you're doing is you're presenting this illusion of a joke. Because the joke itself, if you want to get like really technical and like super dumb philosophical about this shit, you can tell like a joke really in itself doesn't make any sense. The fact that we laugh at it is almost an illusion or a trick. Mm-hmm. Because the greatest thing, one of the best advices I've ever heard is that the more a joke is explained to you and the more it makes sense, the less funny it is. Because once people like realize why it's funny, then it stops being funny. There's that element of not knowing why something is funny that makes it funny. And I think you do that really well in your set, where you'll just kind of go off on these tangents that are like, wait, what the fuck is Soap talking about? But that makes it really funny, because you need that confusion, that awkwardness, which is the center of all great jokes.
It's funny you say that. I haven't actually gone on
it seems like you go on tangents, though. But you are in control. But to me, it seems like you're going on a tangent.
The only times I've ever actually, from my perspective, gone on a rant is during auditions. Because I remember a couple of years ago, I set up a joke, and it hit so hard that people were cheering, but I wasn't done yelling at them, and I was yelling throughout the whole applause break.
That's great.
That's my opinion of when I'm ranting. And I don't do that very often, because I rarely get the chance. I don't get angry on stage very often, but at that point I was pretty pissed. I don't know. Now we're just ranting. Okay, here's something we're going to do. And this is something that a lot of people who listen to this show, all 8 of you, because there's 8 subscribers.
Ooh, I'm one of those.
Are you? Are you really?
Yeah, I'm one of those. Yeah, of course I'm going to subscribe to your show, dude.
Oh.
Right? You're welcome.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, thank you.
I like the show. I actually like the podcast, and you're a really good friend of mine. So.
Yeah, yeah, we're friends, but I don't think it's a good podcast. But that's not the point. The point is we're going to do something that I know a lot of you know that I do. It's called a pee break. Don't worry. It'll only seem like a second.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I'm not even ready to actually pause it. Okay, I'm pausing it now. Yeah. If you're a listener, ignore that. Okay, you see how quick that was, audience listeners? How quick that was? That wasn't even a second. I went and pissed. Me and Fazio had an argument. I turned on Bill Burr. I've done so much shit, and you didn't even notice. All right. Now let's get back to it.
Burr. I gotta say, he's one of my favorites.
He is an idol of mine. Bill Burr, Greg Giraldo, Patrice O'Neal, Jim Norton, and the list goes on, but not that much.
I got to see Bill Burr live at the Comedy Store.
You know what?
One of the nights I was there, I went into the back with like another headliner that I knew into the main room, and Jeff Garlin was hosting it, and he brought out Bill Burr, and it was so cool.
Fuck him. I can't stand him.
I like Jeff Garlin. I think he's pretty funny.
You know what, be that as it may, he's also a prick. And I'll tell you why. If you poke fun at him, he takes personal offense and he gets all
okay, that's not a good attitude. But he's great on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Well,
that's because he has good writers. I think he's a prick. If you can't take a joke and give back a better joke, you're a putz. You know, like Michael Richards, he resorted to being racist. That's the hallmark of someone who's just cracking.
Yeah.
I like Michael Richards. I think he had a bad night. And personally, for me, I forgive him for it because I like him. But Jeff Garlin, I think he's a putz. He's a putz because he was on an episode of Tough Crowd where Patrice O'Neal called him on his shit, and he got all aggressive. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. You ain't no gorilla.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but the stuff that I've seen of Jeff Garlin was I saw him do like some HBO thing where he's talking about like history and how like these people that are famous don't really do anything, and it was fun. It was funny.
I'm sure he's very funny, but he's still a putz. And I hope he hears this because, like I said when I insulted Yaya Han, I need the publicity.
That'd be the funniest thing in the world if like Jeff Garlin like just. Like an angry Twitter, I hate it when Soap said on his eight subscriber podcast.
Do you know how happy?
And then you get like 1 million subscribers after that. That'd be the best day of your life.
Oh my God, I would be rich.
Yeah,
I would love that.
Just find an angry tweet from Jeff Garlin, and you are set for life.
Oh my God, that is like such a wonderful fantasy. But you were getting into something really interesting when we were off the air. So what was that?
During our half-second break. That we had, we were talking about lesbians.
It was like
that's where my mind goes. I don't know about you.
But go on.
And I was telling how there were 3 times where I had to apologize for a joke, and in my mind, I feel like it was not always my fault. If I can be like an asshole and say that, so maybe you can judge. So let's do this. I think since we have some time, we can talk about it. So I'm gonna tell these 3 stories.
We got all night,
tell the story. You can tell me if I was in the right or if I was in the wrong. Is that fair?
Yeah, go for it. Shoot.
So, I guess we'll do the lesbian one first, since we already mentioned it. Lesbian's actually the second time this happened to me, so we're going to go in a little bit of an opposite order. I did anime kanji 2 years ago. I think this is the first year, maybe like the second year that it was even around, and John Allen was doing a comedy competition. This is before... This was right after I won Anime Expo. So this was like 2010, or even like maybe 2011, like early 2011. This happened. So I do this show, and I'm competing, and I get up on stage, and I have this joke that I say, you know it, where I'll talk to a hot girl in the audience, and I'll pretend to pick up on and be all creep, the condom joke. So I'll do this joke where I say, hey, you want to know a secret? I say, I got a condom in my pocket. I go, do you want to know another secret? It expired 5 years ago.
It's a funny joke.
It's one of my oldest jokes, and
it is an old joke because I've heard it like so many times.
It's one of my first like really big hits. If I have hits, it's one of like those jokes that I just tell because I know it always gets a good reaction. So I start this joke with some girl I just randomly pick from the audience, and I start the first part. And I go, you want to know a secret? I got a condom in my pocket, and instantly she says, well, I'm a lesbian and I don't appreciate, egotistical men hitting on me. Which was confusing because I'm like a bitchy lesbian. You never see that.
See, that's funny.
I've told this story a lot of times, so I've got little keywords. We're talking about like story jokes. You got to have little punchlines throughout your fucking joke.
That's a funny joke, though.
So, but anyway, after the show, I couldn't even like finish my joke, my condom joke, because like I only had like 4 or 5 minutes to be on stage. So I'm like, okay, I can't, because normally if I was like doing a 10-minute show or even like an 8-minute show, I would have like dealt with that right there. And but I was like, I only had so much time, and I was going to do my audio sketch at the end, which got me the win in 2010 for Anime Expo. So I do this sketch, and afterwards, they're like, bringing all the other comics back, and I'm just kind of being a goof, and I decided to like try and like hug this girl from behind to try and be funny, and she's like, get off of me. And afterwards, one of the guys who's like one of the heads of the convention comes up to me and says that you got to apologize to this girl. I'm like, okay, so I go and apologize to these women and say I'm sorry about that. And I talk to him afterwards, and I say, I was trying to make the joke about me, like I was trying to hurt myself. And he said, well, sometimes there's a certain joke you just don't tell.
That's bullshit.
And that's what he said to me. And,
well, fuck him.
And then here's the best part. Here's the kicker of the story, is that I still end up getting 4th place, which is enough to get me a prize.
Yeah.
So even after all that, I still, like, got something. For me, that was really funny, that she couldn't push me down enough. In a very small crowd. There was, like, 30 people in the audience, Out of, like, 11 comics, I still end up getting a prize, even though this lady tried to ruin my show.
Yeah, that just goes to show you the people have spoken.
Exactly, and for me that was reassuring that like, okay, I didn't do anything wrong. I did do it. So do you think I was in the right there or the wrong there?
I think you were in the wrong for apologizing, personally.
Okay.
If I was in your position, it's like you gotta apologize. I'll be like, really? Your dad didn't apologize when your mom decided not to have the abortion. Fuck you. It's like, fuck you. Don't tell me what to do.
I was really kind of like avoiding conflict. Like now I am getting better. I am, starting to apologize less, and I'm pissing more people off. But I feel like it's good. It's like a good pissing people off.
If that stuck up cunt. First of all, here's the thing. Was she fat? She was fat. Come on.
No. It was average. I honestly don't even remember.
She was white, chunky, had dirty blonde hair, not that attractive.
No, I remember her having dark hair. That's like I don't even remember what she looked like. I just remember she had dark hair. And
she was average looking.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Obviously,
I think she was like 18 too. She was like pretty young.
Yeah. Okay. That even throws it into another curve. Here's the thing. She's either rebelling.
I didn't think she was even lesbian. I thought she was like one of those young kids that like thinks they're lesbian.
Yeah, exactly. She's either that or her uncle diddled her a little bit too much when she was 4. The point is, fuck her.
I hope the anime kanji guys don't hear this before they accept my panel.
Oh, well, you know what?
Whatever. I don't care. They're not going to. Even if they listen to it, I think it's hilarious. I might not even get the panel because maybe that guy will like remember my name. I have to get the panel. I got like Anime Expo and all this shit backing me.
Anime kanji, if you want to give Fazio any shit for anything that's being said, don't. Give it to me. And go ahead and cancel my request.
Hey. Don't even fucking...
No, because I'm cool with it. Because I'd rather go down as myself.
Hey, listen, I don't care that much about the panel. Like I'll be able to get into Fanime, I'll be able to get into Anime Expo, so it's not a big deal if I don't get into Anime Kanji. Yeah. But it's just fun for me. I just like to do the panel.
The only thing I think you were wrong about was apologizing.
Okay. See, because I don't feel like the condom joke is that offensive. Because again, I'm the one saying like I have an expired condom, which I couldn't even finish that punchline because I was interrupted
by her bitchery.
By bitchery, and again, if I hadn't like this big audio sketch that I was going to do at the end of the show, I would have just cut everything and just dealt with it right there.
If that girl is listening right now, if she happens to ever hear this podcast here, my name is Soap. You are welcome to show up anywhere I'm going to be at and talk shit, and I will talk you back into the eating disorder that you were in when you were 14. So, let's go. You know, bring it. Let's do this thing.
Okay. So that's
You're a cunt. The only reason why you're a lesbian, I'm telling you this. The only reason why you're trying to be a lesbian is because no man will fuck you. That's how ugly you are. All right. So why don't you think about that next time you look at yourself in the mirror and think about your.
Why do people use like their platform like that to try and like?
Are you insulting me?
No, I mean not you. I'm talking about this girl. No, I fucking I fucking love you. I'm talking about like this girl. Like, why would as a lesbian, like, why would you use like that to like be your platform, like interrupt a comic? Why do people feel the need to like interrupt comedians and like feel like there's better than other people? It's like, hey, like my kid has cancer. Don't make fun of cancer. I'm like, is this like? It's like I was saying, like, why would you bring that up? Like, how does that benefit your kid at all?
Okay.
To bring up that he has cancer to a complete stranger at an open mic.
That's a very good point that I've always wanted to talk about on this podcast. I never had a chance to. Before I get to it, let me say, my girl Tasha Crow. Y'all know who she is, and if you don't, then you're not really a listener to this podcast because there's only like 7 people that listen to it. She says, "What's up, y'all?" All right, I think I got the black out of me. So, anyways, rephrase what you just said.
So I don't get why people feel the need to bring up something like about themselves or their platform, something personal, in order to like bring down like a comic.
Okay.
Or even like an artist in general, like a guy who said like, "Oh, I'm making a cancer." Goes like, "Hey, my son has cancer," or "My kid has AIDS." And like, why bring that up there? Like, what does that benefit anybody?
You know, see, my response to that, my kid has cancer. Yeah, I bet he'll be dead pretty soon too. What, you want me to pay for the funeral? Because I won't. Yeah, because I'm a dick. But there is such a thing as audience etiquette. And, like, I feel really ashamed of. I'm very embarrassed for my performance at ALA, not because I bombed on stage. I'm fine with that, but because I left right afterwards, and I showed up right before I was going on, and I left right afterwards. That's very, very unprofessional.
Absolutely.
And very rude to the other comedians, and I'm very embarrassed for that.
Yeah. As your friend, I have to agree with you on that. Like, it really.
It is rude.
We always talk about like how we're not professional, us nerd comics. So we have to set good examples.
Well, you nerd comics, I'm just,
or whatever. Just okay. In my scene, as you know, my scene, we're not very professional. We show up late. We forget our jokes.
The thing is, I didn't show up late. I showed up.
You showed up right on time. But I'm saying is that we got to be professional. Not even just us, you and me. So we can still be assholes and be the dicks, but we got to be professional about it.
For all intents and purposes, for the past 5 years, I have been. Like, even when I lost back in 2011 and my confidence was just blown because Jacob bested me, my confidence was just done. But I stayed there. I stayed until the end because you have to support each other, whether you want to or not. It's called loyal. It's not even loyalty. It's being honorable. There's dignity in it, and otherwise you end up becoming not respected in the end. If you're not respected by your peers, what chance do you have with the audience?
I agree with, and that's why I will say this stuff to people. Like people, when I say like you can't do these racist jokes, or like I'll tell people like, hey, you can't do that, and people say, oh, Fazio just thinks he's better than people and he just hates it. No, I don't. I want people to be better. That's why I say these things. That's why I feel like I have to be quote unquote real with some of these other comics and act like that asshole because it needs to be said. I want us to be better. So
it does need to be said, but I think the thing is, and it's the same thing with my girlfriend. You have to say it in a different way. Because people are
telling me that, so I'll work on that.
People are very, very sensitive. Like, you can tell me right now anything, and it won't bother me because I'm different. But a lot of people in general are very sensitive about what they are. And
I think it's just for me, like, I just don't mind when, like, somebody's, like, really harsh to me. Like, if somebody's like, hey, that was the worst that you've ever did, like, I would want somebody to tell me that. Maybe that's just how I look at it.
I think it's a healthy thing to do. It's because it's being honest. The honesty is the most important thing for me in this shitty business. To be honest And if you're not honest, then what do you have?
I did a show, or I hosted a show that was so bad that this heckler guy came up to me after the show and he said, "You know what? You're not funny at all. Like, everybody else in the show was funny, but not you. Like, you really should stop doing comedy because you're not good at it." You know, and it fucking hurt as shit, you know, but it made me stronger. And I knew I did bad that night. I knew I had a terrible set. You know, sometimes you need stuff like that to kind of bring you. It hurts. It's fucking awful. And
wait a minute. Hold the bus. You emceed?
I hosted. This is when I was doing Laughology.
Oh.
I'm in Santa Barbara. I would host a lot of the shows.
Fuck you.
That's just what we did because there wasn't a lot of us, so we kind of took turns hosting.
I've only emceed once.
It's not. I don't like it.
I hate it.
Ugh.
You got to be nice.
One of my headliner friends said it best. He said, the host of a comedy show has to take the bullet for every other comic. His job is to make all the other comics look better. He's the person that everybody kind of has to hate because he's like that MC bringing everybody along.
I think Danny is the worst MC I've ever seen.
He takes too long on stage. He'll like make these weird comments because I know he's hosted. You know, I've seen him host a lot, and unless he's changed, I haven't seen him host recently. But when I was watching him, he would always like do some like weird thing, or he'll do some kind of improv stuff. And you can't improv when you're a host. It's you can do like very light, like maybe you can make some comment about what the previous comedian said, but you can't stay on stage very long. Like you have to keep it moving.
From what I've learned is that if the other comic sucks, the last comic that you had came on that sucked, then your job as an MC is to bring.
And that's really hard to do because you have to be that good of a comic.
You got to bring them back.
Yeah, and you got to be really talented to do that.
But if the last comic did pretty good, then you don't say shit. You just bring up the next comic.
Exactly.
It's not about you. It's about the next comic. And I think Danny, his head is so fucking huge, literally, that he's just like, oh, this is my show, motherfucker. You know, I'm like, first of all, you would never say motherfucker. You know, man, why do I always shit on Danny? I'm always
since we are talking about Danny, I want to mention my own thing. I think, again, what Danny does is great. I know he listens to these.
Does he?
From what I understand. Well, he told Trung about it, I guess, that one time that we were talking about him. So I know he listens at least sometimes to the show.
I think he just Googles his
Googles.
Googles his people's
who's talking
names.
about it?
Yeah, I think that's what he does.
But I'll say that the one thing that really bothered me, and I'll tell this to Danny's face, and I don't really, because again, this is just between me and him, and why I may not always be as nice as I want to be with Danny is that because we started doing this comedy stuff together, like years back. Like we were the first, like me and Danny together were putting on the first Big Laughs in Little Tokyo. We were the ones who crashed ALA with our comedy panel when nobody else was doing one. Like they denied us an application, so we rented a room. Now we both invested in myself. Like, we were very much working together on a lot of this stuff. Like we both created the Comedy Conventions Facebook page. I think it's still under my name. And all that, and just one day, I think I just had to stop for a while because I was in school, so I was kind of missing some conventions, and I come back for like a PMX or something, and I found out he's doing a competition, and I asked him, like, hey, can I help out with anything? Do you need like a host or a judge? And he's like, oh, you don't know anything, but hey, why don't you try and compete? Maybe you'll win. I'm like, what? It's like, hey, because, you can be funny, so why don't you try and compete? There's some really strong guys, like, you should totally do it. I'm like, fucking, why are you, Danny, like, why are you talking to me like I'm just, like, another fucking competitor guy, like.
That's the business, man.
It's just, like, after all that we've done, he's just, like, talking to me like I'm just another, I don't know, I don't get any respect. I don't know, it's weird. Maybe I don't deserve it.
Listen, Rodney.
Respect, but, I feel like I don't even, like,
you didn't get that joke? You didn't pick up on that? Of anyone. I called you Rodney. You just said I got no respect. Listen, Rodney.
I love that guy, dude. That's what I feel sometimes. I feel like fucking Ice Cube, dude. Like, fucking, I started this gangster shit sometimes, I feel like, who the fuck, like, nobody gives a shit about what even like 2010, like, nobody gives a shit anymore that I won 2010. Other guys are like, hey, you need to prove to us that you're funny. Like, why do I have to prove to anybody that I'm funny? I've won this shit, I've done these shows, like, why do I have to keep constantly proving to these guys that I thought were my peers, and I felt like I had some kind of clout, but I guess nobody really gives a shit about what I do. And I guess maybe that's what I don't care that they don't give a shit about me, I guess, anymore.
That's
what I'm trying to work on is that, because I was talking to you, like, I'm okay. I read about with people hating me, because I remember that old quote, like, if somebody hates you, that means you've stood up for something in your life.
That's a nice quote. I've never heard that before.
I read it. I don't remember who said it, but I remember.
Was it Hitler?
That'd be pretty funny.
Sounds like something he'd say.
I just want, like, I think
fucking Jews.
I wish just like random quotes or just like attributed to like Hitler or like Stalin or something like that.
Stalin, that deformed dwarf. He had one arm shorter than the other. It's probably because he masturbated way
killed like
too much.
8 million of his own people or something.
Yeah, I know. Oh, what a cunt.
At least Hitler killed other people. You know, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, he was fair about it. He killed,
everyone.
Jews, gypsies, fags, every Polish. If you're in the way, you were dead. He was an equal opportunity, which I don't respect, but at least he wasn't Stalin. Holy shit.
Yeah, but what I was saying is I think that for me, my biggest stumbling block when it comes to just writing or doing comedy was caring too much what other people thought and not wanting people to hate me. But since I'm starting to come to the realization that it's okay for people to hate me, it's like a big burden's being lifted off me. Where like now that I can accept that not everyone's going to like what I do and that some people may hate me, it's lifting. It really, it's lightening, I guess.
Liberating.
I'm running out of words today. Liberating is the right term.
I think that coincidentally that may be the reason why I've always considered you personally as a rival. I mean, despite the fact that we went up head to head at was it 2010?
2010.
And I lost to you. I've always considered, because you're the polar opposite of everything that I do. And I go ever since in 2008. I killed at the audition. People were going nuts. And I honestly did not plan to make it through the audition. And I did. And I just said, fuck it, I'm going to say what I want. And I was booed and pulled off stage. And then the only reason why I came back in 2009 is because I wanted to punish people for hating me. And then I learned that that was who I actually am. And people started to like it. And it made me so uncomfortable because I didn't believe them. People would come and say, you're so funny, you're so cute, you're blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, looking at them funny. And here you are giving a shit. So it's like completely opposite. I think that might explain the rivalry.
All that stuff you say, I mean, I say it right back to you. Like, I really think you're the best comic that we have out there. Like, guys like you and G, like, even, I would put you above G, and I fucking think G's hilarious. You know that. Like, you're the one.
He is,
yeah.
For the demographic. Personally, I think if he went into, like, the Comedy Cellar, nobody would care. I
think he would get, because I tell him all the time, like, when I see him, I'm like, G, you gotta do open mics. Like, yeah, I know, and it's just, he just doesn't do it.
He's not really going to be a comedian. I mean, that's not his thing. He's just having fun, which is fine. I think maybe Justin is going to grow out into the real world. Maybe Trung will. I think Brian might.
Jack Brazil.
Jack is already in it.
He's in it.
Well,
or even like the other guys that we talked to, like Denzel and Thomas. I think they can.
Thomas won't though.
I know Thomas won't. Denzel maybe. He seems like he really cares. I mean, it'd be interesting to see where he goes with comedy.
I forgot what I was getting. My point was.
We were giving each other blowjobs with compliments.
No, I wasn't. No, I'm pretty sure I wasn't complimenting you.
Okay, good. I hate fucking. I can't take compliments to a fucking.
Yeah, neither can I.
Their show, like, you're so funny, it bothers. I don't know. I don't take compliments well. I don't, because for me, like, I feel like comedy is some kind of magic sometimes. Where it's just like when it hits, really, like, I don't want to know like why it hits. I don't want people to think I'm good. I just kind of want to let it to fucking happen. If I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx shows. I'm super superstitious, and it's awful. Usually,
when I'm reviewing video footage of myself, I'm not looking for what I did right. I'm looking for what I did wrong and what didn't work, and then I try to figure out why.
I think everybody does that because we're just so.
No, I don't think everybody does. If everyone did, they would improve.
Okay,
I don't think a lot.
Okay, the good comics.
I think a lot of people don't do it, and like, I I can assume that you've done it, but after my first and second year, I really started diving into it, and I did research. I looked up stuff. I tried to read. I looked up information. I watched professionals. I did a lot of actual research, and I don't think anyone else really does that at all. You know,
it's really because I had a phase like that too. Like these last few months, I was like doing a lot of research. Like I read Patton Oswalt's book, and a bunch of other stuff. And,
well, he has a few. There's one book he wrote that wasn't a funny book. It was like a fiction, like actual book.
Oh, I read Zombie Spaceship Wasteland.
Was that the fiction one?
No, that wasn't fiction. That was it was like a collection of essays.
Oh, okay.
It was really good. Like I really liked it. He has some really interesting things, not just about comedy, but just about like just life.
I'm not gonna read.
That was interesting, but for me, like that's an important part of the comedy process. Is you kind of do the research, you look around, you try to figure out like what you want to do. Because for me, it's really weird because the comics that I really like, that I consider like my favorite comics, or comics I'm like almost nothing like, like Mitch Fatel or like Jim Gaffigan. Or like Doug Stanhope or like Louis C.K. or like comedians that I don't act like at all on stage, but these are the guys like I really respect, and I guess that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm the same way. Like my idols, I don't feel like I'm like them, but that's a good thing because it means you're yourself.
Yeah.
Like Doug Stanhope stands above everyone for me. Because he's
one of the best. He really. Every time I hear him too, like every time I hear like a new joke, it's always right on for me. Like he's almost. I mean, I don't say he's not all. He doesn't bomb because he sometimes will.
No, he doesn't bomb. He doesn't bomb. If he's losing the crowd, he punishes them for it. That's why I identify with him.
I still tell that tit fuck joke that's my favorite thing in the world.
Which one? I don't know if I remember that.
Well, it's the way he introduces the joke is the funny shit in the world, where he's just like, I don't even know if it's like the end of his set, where he's just like just you can tell he just does not give a shit anymore. It's like, I don't know a lot, man. I don't know a lot. I do know one tit fuck joke, and it's fucking great. I'm gonna tell it. And he goes, so I go to my girlfriend and say, hey, I'm going to fuck you between the tits. And she's like, well, how are you going to make that good for me? And he's like, well, I'll tell you, right before I'm about to come, I'll stop punching you in the face.
Okay, I do know that joke.
Yeah. I do. My favorite joke.
I do know that joke.
It's the funniest. It's funny because I don't tell any kind of jokes like that. Like I don't do any of the stuff because you're closer to the comedians that I watch. Like your style is very much like the Doug Stanhope, or even like the Louis C.K. in a strange way. It's a strange way.
Speaking of which, I think Louis C.K. is overrated.
However,
I think he's extremely talented.
Yeah.
And very good at what he does. So, go on.
It's funny because actually I started out not liking Louis C.K. at all. And I was thinking, like, this guy's overrated. Why does everybody like this guy? And then just the more I watch, the more I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, like, now I'm starting to see, like, why everybody really likes him. But he was a slow burn for me. I didn't really get him at first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked him, but he doesn't... Bill Burr is, like, number two
so
for
funny.
me.
I've watched so many of his specials.
For me, it goes Doug Stanhope, Bill Burr, Patrice O'Neill, Jim Norton, Mitch Hedberg, what's his name? Nick DiPaolo, and I'm forgetting some people. But Louis C.K. is in the top 20, but...
I think so. He is really good at what he does, and it's really funny, and it is really smart.
There's nothing denying his talent at all. There's no... if you deny his talent, you just haven't been paying attention.
I'm thinking if I were to make a list... Actually, probably my top comic isn't even a comic, and he's the most I'm probably like with my set is Stephen Colbert, who was probably like my first or at least second influence in comedy. Because I remember watching the Colbert Report and saying, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I like what he does, is that he does a joke. He'll say something completely ridiculous with a straight face. He won't crack, and he'll just I wanted to do that on stage. Like that's, I was like, whatever I end up doing, I want to do it like that. I want to do it with that energy. I want to do it without cracking up like Stephen Colbert does.
But if that's not who you are, you shouldn't do it.
No, I mean, it isn't. I mean, I used to, like, when I was first doing comedy, like, back in high school when I was, like, messing around and talent shows and shit, I would just do Stephen Colbert impressions. I would just be like, America's the best country, and, you know, do all that stuff. And it helped me in a way where it got people to laugh at me and it got my confidence up. But obviously, I eventually moved away from that. But I still kept the over-optimism, because I liked that, and I kept a straight face. But now I'm just talking about completely different stuff. And with a different way than, I guess, Stephen Colbert would do it.
See, now, we can't have you being negative.
Yeah.
Because I've cornered that market.
No, and, you know, and I've tried to be negative. I've tried, I mean, you can watch, I mean, I can show you videos that I have on my iPod. Just, like, shows where I've tried to be, like, a slow comic like Mitch Vitale, or I've tried to be like a Louis C.K. or like a story. I have videos of me just trying out like all these different ways. Again, guys like, you know, Doug Stanhope and Bill Burr are guys like I really liked as comedians. It took me a while to realize that this wasn't who I was, even though I really liked them a lot, and I pointed them out as like my idols. I can't do this because it doesn't work for me in the same way that it does for them. Like I'm really at my strongest with my energy, because when I'm improvising and I'm messing around, like I do it with a heightened energy because that's just who I am. I'm naturally a crazy, hyped up, borderline ADHD guy. And that's who I am, and that's when I'm on stage. And I guess it's just, for me, I guess why I stopped doing that for a while is because energetic comics were getting a really bad rap. Like guys like Dane Cook were like considered like the worst comics. Like, oh shit, I kind of do energetic stuff like Dane Cook. Maybe I should slow it down. And then I kind of realized, you know, no, this is just who I am. I'm not going to fucking stop just because some couple of other comics, you know, are doing whatever. Like, this is who I am, so I got to pursue it.
Well, just do it. You know, you got to do what you got to do.
Exactly.
I had a point, and I have no idea what it was.
I don't know. We're talking for a while.
No, there was something really important that I wanted to say. I don't know. You know what? I remember what I wanted to say, and now that I remember what it was, it's not that important.
Let's hear it anyway.
Greg Giraldo was the first comic I tried to kind of embody. And here's the thing. In my opinion, I think when you're starting out, you do try to copy someone. Yeah. I think you do. And at least, you know, I have to admit, I did. I tried to be Greg Giraldo. And to a point, I kind of am. Because if you've ever actually heard me rant, it's pretty much basically like I've taken too much coke. It's really fast.
Yeah.
It's really aggressive. It's really fast. But I learned that, you know, I'm not that. You know, it's in that.
Even, I remember I saw the Bill Hicks documentary, and he used to...
Woody Allen?
He would do Woody Allen, and one of the other comedians mentioned that, like, when he first came up, when he first saw Bill Hicks, he was doing the Woody Allen, and he said that's very common of new comedians, that they'll emulate some other comic, and you'll see, like, who their influences are. And they said that's totally fine, and as long as you grow out of it.
Yeah, you gotta grow. And that's the thing. You have to admit it. Admit you're doing it. Just admit it. And, you know, this sounds really, really arrogant and really conceited.
We're doing that a lot tonight. We're both sounding pretty arrogant, but it's
I know, but like a couple of years ago, maybe it was in 2011 or something, there were a lot of comics who were trying to be, quote, edgy and kind of vulgar and this, that, and the other, and it almost seemed like they were trying to do what I did, but they did it on a really unpolished, kind of unnecessary level. You know? So it almost seemed like people were imitating me. And maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe this is just...
It's interesting that you say that, because I was noticing at open mics that just people were doing the same kind of stuff that I was doing. Obviously they weren't copying me, because I've never seen these people before in my life. But they were doing like this nerdy stuff that I was doing, like really early, like 2009, 2010 Anime Expo. stuff where I was like being like really awkward, and they were doing like the same like, oh, I'm a nerd, I can't get chicks, or like variations of that, and that's when I kind of had to button down and say, okay, what can I do that's different? And so I think maybe it's just if people see something that's working, and maybe they just stick with it. And negative seems to be really popular now. Like Louis C.K. is very negative.
Maybe that's the thing.
I think you do it so well though, because you actually are a negative, asshole of a person.
Well, I'm not an asshole. I mean, I'm very loving and compassionate. But if you're a cunt, I'm gonna destroy you.
The point is that you're not faking who you are on stage. These other guys are just ranting because they saw Bill Hicks do it, or they're negative because they saw Doug Stanhope be negative. Yeah. Which is like, it's the same as like when I was doing my experiment, like when I was experimenting with other kinds of comedy. It's like I was trying to be slow when I'm not a slow person. So I mean, it's all relative.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and recant that statement that I said. People weren't copying me. They were trying to be what's, I guess, popular now.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that what I do happens to be popular, I guess.
It's negative is really big right now.
It's not going to go anywhere, though.
I think it's just a reflection of just our society right now, which is a really pretentious thing to say. But if you look at something like Facebook or just like the internet, there's so much pessimism and so much cynicism that
it's fake.
Yeah. And that's the worst part of it is fake cynicism and pessimism. That's what makes it even worse.
Talk to any of these motherfuckers in real life, and they will not give you shit. They're like, hey, how you doing? You want a drink? Yeah, let's have a hug. Fuck you.
You just want to be self-important douchebag.
You were talking shit to me online, and suddenly you want to be my buddy? Because I carry a knife with me, and I'm happy to use it. You know what I'm saying? It's like nobody's real. It just be honest. Fucking be.
It hurts. It's real. I don't know. It hurt. I don't know if it's hurtful, or I guess it's gotta be hurtful, But for me, it's just like it almost like destroys my soul sometimes. It's like there's no genuine emotion on Facebook or the internet, and I'm just like surfing it like for hours. Going like I have to get away from this shit, even though I'm addicted to the internet like everybody else in the goddamn world.
Speaking as a mentally ill person, Facebook is actually a trigger of me. It's one of my triggers, and partially, like I made a post a couple days ago about how every time I go on Facebook, it makes me not want to be a comic, because it seems like everyone thinks they're funny on the internet. And I mean, I remember 10 years ago, everyone thought they were a tough guy. Now everyone thinks they're a comic. So in 10 years, everyone's going to think they're, I don't know, sexy? I don't know.
It's just the meme culture. It's so easy to just like take a picture and put some text on it and then spread it to 50 billion people.
Well, I do that.
Everybody thinks they're funny.
I do that because they are funny, but...
Well, because you're an actual comic, but like a normal person... Because the thing is that not everybody is funny or should be funny. It's very much like a talent like painting or, being a writer or like acting. It's not something that everybody can do. So we gotta feel... So there's these people who want to be funny, but they're not funny. So they'll take some easy joke or some kind of picture and they'll make a meme out of it. It's a very pretentious thing for me to say because it makes like, oh, I'm better than these other guys for being a comic. Well, I'm like, well, I'm not going around posting the same cat pictures that everybody else is on the internet. So I don't know. I hate it.
It's at the end of the day, though, I mean, there was a quote from The Simpsons where it said, I think it was Magic Johnson who said it. Oh, Jesus. Someone's texting me. Give me a second, yeah?
Yeah.
This is professional. Yeah, okay. So anyways, what I was saying, what the fuck was I saying?
Magic Johnson.
I don't even care. Oh, Magic Johnson. He beat AIDS. But, yeah, he said, Homer actually mentioned, what happens if someone, like, is being blown up unnecessarily, something like that, because he got popular over something that he didn't do.
Yeah.
It was something like that. And I think it was Magic Johnson that said, don't worry, Homer. People like that are eventually exposed for the frauds that they are. And at the end of the day, everyone who's not funny is going to continue to not be funny. And the internet is just like, I can be who I want. But real life, you can't be. You can only be what you are.
It goes back to what we're talking about just giving something. Like, if you're a comic, then you're going to be able to give that service to people. Like that's something that you're going to be able to provide. Unless these guys can prove that they're comedians or writers by providing these services of comic, then we're not going to look at them like that. I don't know why. I don't know if that made any sense.
I think it made sense. I'm really tired, so.
I'm pretty tired too.
What, you want to go to sleep now?
I don't fucking know. I was up all night partying, dude. Fucking threw up and shit.
So do you want to go to sleep?
Do we have anything else to talk about? Is anything?
Well, probably, but
that's fine. Whatever, I'm fine. You guys, what?
Because I have to do another pee break.
I got at least until 1, so we got at least 15 minutes.
15 minutes? All right, we'll do that. Okay, so, listeners, hey, guess what? I'm going to go take a piss, but you're not even going to notice because it's going to be so fast. Okay, guys, you see how quick that was? I pissed and you didn't even know it. All right. Okay, so we're back. What are we talking about?
I don't fucking know. Talking about something else. Some other comedy stuff.
I'm looking forward to seeing all these new people that are. When did this become a thing?
I guess it was always. For me, I guess it was just always interesting. I've always wanted to do comedy, so I mean, Anime Expo was a place to do that. And now that it's big, other people are starting to come out. It's like.
Is it big? Is it really?
I don't know if it's like it's not like huge, but I think it's like American Idol. I know bad show or reference or whatever, but American Idol started out as like a smallish kind of thing, and then over the seasons, people just kept coming and coming, and it got bigger. And I feel like that's happening with Anime Expo.
You should mix the words "coming" with "bigger." I don't know. It's just
coming and big. That's for you.
Yeah, it is.
That was for your show.
Yeah.
But it's got to be getting bigger because every year we're seeing like new people. But at the same time, there's always the old people that are still getting through. So it is an interesting mix. I would love to see just one show where it's just like 10 all new people and we all fuck up. It's just like all the old guys just somehow don't make into the top 10. It's all like people I've never seen before.
I don't want to fail.
Well, you're going to be judging, so you'll be judging this year.
Yeah,
so
but I mean next year. If I'm not a part of the show permanently, then I guess I have to compete, and I don't want to fail. That would be embarrassing.
I'm gonna say something here on the podcast for the 8 people that listen to this, because I thought about something back when I wanted to do when I was still planning on doing Anime Expo Last Comic Standings. I came up with an idea for a joke that I really liked, and it was a joke that I could only do at Anime Expo because it was the next logical progression of the audio joke that I did in 2010. It was a much bigger version of that. But then when I decided that I wasn't going to do it anymore, I was a little upset at myself. Like, wait, I wrote this really great joke. So, saying that, there may be a very small chance of me competing at Last Comic Standing this year.
So what would stop you?
It's really just this joke. Like, I'm actually kind of excited because now I don't even care if I win. I just really want to do this really big joke. So once I just do that, I don't care if I get to the finals. I just want to get that out of that because I've had it on paper and I've written it, like 5 different drafts of it, and I really just want to tell this joke.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I remember you told me about not caring about winning, and 2011 was the last time I cared about winning, and in 2012 I didn't care, and it's pretty obvious that I didn't care by the time we did the second improv thing. I thought it was pretty obvious that I didn't care.
No, I mean, I knew that you stopped because you were just saying the same shit over and over at that point. I mean, I knew you were just fucking around. It was fun, though.
I didn't give a shit. I was done. I was ready to go ahead and forfeit. I don't know.
It makes you calmer. I think it makes you more relaxed. You're like, I don't care about winning because once you relax like that, then you get to be really funny. So I'll be excited for that, where I won't really care about winning. Maybe that'll make me better. If I were again, it's all if I don't finish this joke, then obviously I just want to compete. But I'm working on it, so I should have it done.
I think
by Anime Expo.
I don't know why. I mean, I'm starting to reconsider. Like I made a statement to myself a long time ago. I said, if I ever win this thing, I'm gonna quit from it. I'm not gonna do it again. Yeah. But now I'm thinking, why? It's like because I'm not getting worse. So why would I quit?
Well, I think if I did, I would definitely quit after, because I can't imagine I could think of anything that would beat this huge fuck. I have no idea where I would go from here.
Well, see, that's your problem. See, I don't...
That's my problem, is I like to do, like, the big jokes and the big gimmicky stuff.
Gimmicks, exactly.
I like the gimmicks, and for a while, like, that really bothered me. Like, I'm not a real comedian, I do gimmicks. I'm like, I like that. So I'm a writer, you know, I'm a director, I like movies. I like big, huge things. So if I want to recreate that on my show, then fuck it. You know, that's what I'm going to do.
That's something that's one of the things that separated us from the start, is, like, if I can't win under my own simplistic merit, I don't deserve it. And I'm not saying that what you do isn't your merit, but your merit is much different than, like, I'm not going to come up there with a bunch of props and a...
Yeah, well, that's because that's not who you are. Because you shouldn't sacrifice who you are to be, you know, to be a comedian. Like, I think that what you do is really great for what you're doing. It was just, for me, I kind of realized that I am, you know, the big thinker guy. Like, I like to do, like, these audio sketches. I like to come up with these big characters and these big pre-planned things, because that's how I've always been. Even ever since I was a kid, I'd always had, like, these big ideas for comics or movies. And I remember even, like, buying, like, a shitty green screen, like, for, like, $10 off eBay, just so I could make my friend look like he was a giant fighting some other giants in big buildings, like some awful high school movie that I made.
That's a little gay.
It is really gay, but I love doing shit like that. So I'm okay. I would never do props.
You like being gay?
I love it.
But you would never do. You would never.
Most people think I'm gay. I think. At least my friends are. I have terrible friends. I think they all think I'm gay, but because I just don't fuck. They're like, "Why aren't you fucking chicks?" I fucking hate most of them. Why do you fucking, you know? So you're gay. You should fuck that. I don't want to fuck every goddamn chick like you guys are. You know, like maybe I have some standards and shit.
Why wouldn't you use props?
Because I like my hands to be open. Because, you know, I'm very, I try, like the one time I tried a prop technically would be this, when I did the pony thing at the ALA this year. For me, I realized that I don't want things like interrupting my train of thought. When I'm doing improv and I'm messing around with stuff, I move my hands because I'm Italian, you know, we talk with our hands, and I'm interacting with all these things. I don't want anything to stop me or to be like a block where all of a sudden I'm stuck at this thing or this prop's coming in. Because you know me, because you mentioned before that you think I interact with the audience well, which I think is a really nice compliment.
You do. That's the one thing that you have that I don't.
And I don't want anything to interfere with that. That's why I don't like a prop, because a prop is a very specific thing. I need to be able to change what I'm doing at a moment's notice. So for me, I feel like a prop would get in the way with that. But if props work for you, like for a comic, then they should absolutely do it.
Who do you think props work for?
I don't know. I haven't actually seen it work. I mean, Carrot Top's the most famous prop comic, and he's pretty awful. Yeah. I mean, I get what Danny tries to do with them, because I know he does the props.
Really? Because I don't.
Well, I'm not saying it's funny, because again, we both don't think he's funny. But I get like what he's trying to do. Like he's trying to be a story comic. He's trying to be like present these things that are important items in his life. He's trying to expand on things with visual cues, and I can respect that. It's just how he does it isn't very funny, and I think he can get the same point across without props. I mean, if you're going to use a prop, then you got to do something that's only could be done with a prop.
I don't know the first thing about using a prop.
I mean, it's something that it's got to appeal. Like you can say like what you want about like ventriloquists, but that's something that they really like, and it's absolutely a gimmick. But if you see like a really funny ventriloquist, then I mean, you can't really complain because he's doing exactly what he wants to do, and he's good at it.
Have you seen one?
I went on a cruise like years ago with my family, and one of the cruise comics was a ventriloquist, and he actually was really funny. I can't remember what his name was.
That's how funny it was. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I was also pretty young, so that's probably why.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You know, you like it when you're.
I was like 18. I mean, it was like 5 years ago or whatever. So.
18. How could you? You know what? I'm not even gonna get into that.
You know how young I am, dude. You know, I'm like 23. I'm way fucking young.
Yeah, I know that, but 18 and you're. I don't know. I don't know where this is going.
I remember I was old enough to drink in like international waters, So I must have been like 18 or
Really?
something.
You were old enough to break the law where laws don't exist. Wow, that's fascinating.
That's my white people coming out of me. That's my first world problems coming out.
You're a fucking rebel. You break the law where there are none. Wow. The next thing you're gonna do is marry a cow.
I'm OG.
You mean an old gimp? It's fucking. Oh, I'm gonna go in international waters and break the law. Nigga, there ain't no laws in fucking international waters. Oh, well, I'm gonna be hardcore and I'm gonna fucking drink when I'm 17. Nigga, people do that in the mainland. I mean, I
drank when I was like 17 and shit.
Yeah,
I got like senior and junior year of high school. I partied a lot.
That is nothing to be proud about.
It really isn't. It's awful.
It really is. I remember the first time I got high with weed. I have to specify because I'm a complete act. Yeah, I remember I would like ninja up the walls and stuff, and like I scared the shit out of my friend. I'm just like
picturing you ninja fucking like climbing up these walls.
I did, and there was one point me and my friend were playing Tekken. I think we were playing Tekken 3, and I forgot to breathe the whole fight. And by the end, I like passed out. That was a good times.
Oh my god, we would put on, we would get drunk, I remember we would put on like boxing gloves and fight, but I had glasses, and I was like, oh, I can't fight because I have glasses. Like, oh, it's cool. And so I took them off, and we were like fighting in the dark, and I can barely see shit. I'm getting my ass kicked. Drunk out of my mind. These fucking boxing gloves. Like, it's cool, guys. I'm not wearing my glasses. You can hit me in the face. Yeah.
You remember when being... Yeah, well, you're younger than me, but you remember when being young was cool?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know what kids do these days, but when I was a kid, like, me and my friends would wrestle, and, like, we would hit each other with swords.
Oh, yeah, we got into so many fights.
I remember one time, I had my friend in a headlock, and I was trying to, like, slam him against the wall, and another friend of mine came out of his grandmother's room with a flamethrower and just set the entire hall on fire.
That's way cool, dude.
Oh, it was really cool. But the worst thing about it was that, first of all, he was Korean, so you never knew if he really had eyes, and you could see the glint in his eyes as he was smiling, and that's what made it scary.
Oh my god, I remember one time I was really drunk, and there's like this guy that we kind of all knew, and he fucking got super drunk, and he started like spooning this other guy next to him, and then all of a sudden he disappears for like 5 minutes, and he comes back naked and starts running around the room in a circle going, I'm gay, no I'm not, I'm gay, no I'm not, just screaming at the top of his lungs. And we're just like, what the fuck is going on? This is shit we did. And then we were just getting drunk, and we just like punched him and shit.
See, that's a little bit too much. That's a little bit too much. I mean, you know, I wake up at every Yaoi-con with a guy humping me, but when you're running around naked saying that shit, it's like, dude, should I hit you with a cinder block? Will that shut you up?
It was weird, dude. Fucking there's dumb shit. We fucking ghost rode the whip back when that was a thing.
I don't know what that means.
Ghost Ride the Whip. Remember that shit?
Nope.
Well, back in the day, there was a song called Ghost Ride the Whip, and the concept was you turn on your car and you put it in like drive, and you just start dancing around it.
Dancing around the car?
You start as it's like just going, you know, because it's called ghost riding, because there's nobody driving, so you just kind of dance around this car. And it was the stupidest goddamn shit in the world. But we all thought it was the funniest thing in anything. That's all we did.
I don't know, that kind of shit just does not compute with me. I don't get it.
That's fucking. We did dumb shit. We put Ben Gay on one of my friend's dick, and then we chased him outside with a car. Really?
Did you really do that? Or were you actually giving them a hand job and picked the wrong lotion?
I will be honest. Technically, I wasn't there, but there's a YouTube video of it, so I feel like I was there. I feel like I was with them.
A friend of mine
I was there with those guys. I would have totally like fucked even more with those people. You know, great reference and words that I'm using when talking about them being gay on a guy's dick.
I probably shouldn't say this, but you know, I don't really care. But a friend of mine was raped by like 4 or 5 girls, here's what happened. It's rape because it was, I guess, violation, but, so what happens is, like, they're, like, giving him a hand job, and then, like, a blow job, yada, yada, yada. And then he explained to me, he says, it was good at first, and then I started noticing a really weird feeling. And then you look down, and they were trying to shove maggots into his pee hole. And when that happened, I guess he flipped out, and, like, he smashed one of them against a lamp. And,
which is a normal response.
I guess, yeah. But
fucking maggots in your dick? Holy,
my question was, where did they get the maggots? How do you just come across maggots?
You maybe just have like a jar just for special occasions.
I guess so. I mean, they do have protein.
Fucking maggot jar. I was accused of rape.
Were you?
Okay, this is my first sexual experience in my entire life.
Yesterday?
Yesterday I was with this... Let me great story. Yesterday when I was trolling Santa Monica for hobos, I was...
Okay, go on.
Okay, so anyway, this is my first sexual experience with a girl that I had the hugest goddamn crush on in the world. It was so embarrassing, like how much I wanted to fuck this chick, and I was always friend zoned by her. And then, just out of the blue, she communicates with me and says, like, hey, we should go hang out or do something. Like, okay. So we hang out and do something. We start making out. And we end up going back to her place. This is like high school, so this is like parents' place and shit. I'm like a fucking, like, baby. Because I have no idea what the fuck's going on. This is all, like, the most surreal shit in the world. Because, again, like, just the day before I was friend-zoned by this chick, and all of a sudden I'm at her house making out.
No, she's just a whore.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Again, let me finish the story. So we go there, and, I'm like a fucking, like, panda bear. I'm, like, asking, like, every goddamn question. Can I do this? I end up, like, fingering her and shit. I'm like, before, like, can I do this? I'm like, because, again, this is all, like, so goddamn surreal to me. And, like, afterwards, like, we do the thing, I'm like, I need to go home, because I live close by, because I was just so freaked out, like, I couldn't be there, anymore. He's like, oh, you should stay there, they know I don't want to get in trouble with your parents. And, like, so I left, I'm feeling, like, fucking great. Like, the next day, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm getting with the chick I had a big crush on. And, when I wake up, a friend of mine calls me, and he says, like, hey, I heard you got together with this chick. And, like, it's kind of weird that he found out about that so quick. Because I hadn't told anybody. It's like, yeah, I guess I did. So I guess I did. And he's like, yeah, she was telling me that you raped her. And I was like, what? And then my friend's like, oh, don't worry, nobody believes her. It's like everybody knew I was like the nice guy. I still am like the nice guy. So everybody knew that I would never even think about something like that. So it was really funny that like she told people that I'd raped her and like it totally backfired on her. Because nobody would fucking believe her.
That's not really a good story. I mean, it is, but I mean, to be,
we made fun of it for like the rest of high school. Like people would call me like the master rapist and shit. Because we all thought it was the funniest shit in the world because I was like the nice guy. Like I never did anything mean to anybody.
Yeah, I was not. But I never raped anyone.
And then like, afterwards, she tried to apologize. Like, oh, I never said that. It was out of context or some bullshit,
Yeah, they cover their tracks.
Yeah.
I remember my first threesome. It was awful, It only became a threesome because my dad got tired and tagged in my uncle. But, it was like, it's not that fun. I thought
he's so slow, and he's got those warts. And he keeps telling stories while you're fucking hand-jobbing him and shit. Fuck that,
Well, apparently you've been through this before.
Well, if it's anything like my uncle, it was like, well, let me tell you about when I fought in Nam. Like, it's like, my mouth is kind of full right now, uncle. Don't hear your goddamn Nam stories.
You know what? Let's. That's enough. We're done here. I think we're done. Are you done?
I don't know. I think I wanted to tell some other story now that we're telling like personal, hilarious.
No, I wasn't really raped by my uncle. Yeah.
But you weren't really raped. Okay, we're done talking about.
I mean, I've been raped, but not by my uncle. He was cool.
I remember what I was talking about. Uncles are fun. I love my uncles are really cool people, actually.
Yeah, all of mine are dead.
My dad has 4 brothers, and they're all really cool.
I'm pretty sure if you our listeners are really interested in our family.
I know, talking about our uncles and shit.
Talk about
I don't know. Want to hear about the first time I had sex? It's a funny story.
No, I don't actually.
Oh, anyway, so I'm having. I'm sorry. So yesterday, I'm trolling.
Yeah, keep that joke going.
So I'm gonna keep that. It's a callback.
Nobody knows what that means.
This is actually a really funny story. This is why I want to tell it. And then, I don't know, we can end it, or if you want to say something afterwards, you can. But, so I just want to tell this story because it's funny. I was 19 years old when I had sex for the first time, because I'm just that cool of a person.
Okay.
I'm just so cool that I have sex when I'm 19, and obviously it's embarrassing and all that. And some girl that was like a friend of a friend I talked to a few times, and we ended up leaving some party, and we have sex. And obviously it's, awful, like all the first time sex is.
Not for me.
Okay, but fuck you. So, okay, so sex is always okay. So your first time was awesome. You never get
actually my first time was a molestation. So I guess it wasn't pretty good, but my first consensual time was awesome.
Okay. Well, anyway. So I'm feeling pretty good. Obviously, since I was 19 years old, like I told all of my friends because, like I was a virgin up until that point. So I instantly called my best friend, and then my other friend, and my other friend, my other friend. And the next day, she texts me and says, I was like, I heard you told everybody that we had sex. And I'm like, well, fucking duh, I was a virgin. How did you, not think I wasn't going to tell everybody that we had sex? And then she thought she was smart. She texted me back, said, well, if you don't stop telling people, I'm going to tell everybody that it wasn't very good. I'm like, fucking duh, it was my first time having sex. That was totally for me. I didn't even know you were there. So get that shit over with. And she didn't text me back after that. So, later on, I ended up seeing her at a party months later, and she's super nice to me. And all that shit. Yeah. So it's in weird situations. But I think that's the point of this podcast. I want to get that across to your listeners. I get in really weird situations, which is weird because I'm a nice guy.
What does that mean? What does it mean to be a nice guy? What does that mean?
I do jokes about it all the time about being a nice guy.
What does it mean? I don't know what that means.
It means being a punce.
Really? Is that what it means?
It's being a sucker, You
fall for shit. You believe everything everyone says.
That's nice, and I was in high school and middle school. Because I've had to. Because I stand up for myself now. When I was in high school, I didn't really stand up for myself. I was just nice to everybody, and now. I'm very vocal. I yell at people and shit.
You can stand up for yourself and be nice. I know I call myself an asshole and everything, but that's just because it's easy for people to accept. I think I'm very nice.
I think it's knowing the difference between being a nice guy and being a sap. Because you don't want to be a sap. You want to be a nice guy, but also be able to stand up for yourself.
Well, yeah, I guess. No woman is going to respect a pushover or anything like that.
Yeah, and I was a pushover for many years of my life.
Maybe that's why it took you so long to get laid.
Exactly. I was friend zoned by everybody.
Even your uncle didn't even diddle you.
No, he was, how's the worst friend zoning?
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. You know what, I always say things like that. I bet you Scarlett Johansson's dad is kicking himself in the ass for man, I could have raped that. I had so many years, I could have fucked it. I wonder if he thinks that.
So if I was Scarlett Johansson's dad, I'd be like, fuck, I screwed that shit up.
Okay, now you just took it too far. See the balance there? See what I did and then what you did and why it didn't work? You see?
This is why I don't do your jokes, man.
Yeah, it's I tread the waters and I have a life raft.
I'm a nice guy.
You keep saying that, but I don't know.
If I say it enough, it'll become true.
Okay, well then I'm Superman. If I say it enough, I'll be a Nazi. Oh wait.
I'm with it.
Speaking of which, I gotta promote this. Brides of March 16th. I'm gonna be there. It's in San Francisco.
What is that?
I don't even know. Okay. But it's called the Brides of March, or the March of Brides, something like that. The point is, it's a great chance to cross-dress, and I'm going to look gorgeous, and it's on my birthday, March 16th, which I shouldn't have said that because I didn't want anybody to know. But you don't know. Happy birthday. You don't know how old I am. It's not my birthday yet. My birthday was years ago. Anyways, the point is, I'm gonna be.
Your birthday was years ago.
I'm gonna be in a dress, and I'm not gonna wear underwear, and I'm gonna have gorgeous makeup, and everyone's gonna want to fuck me, and I'm gonna be like, yeah.
You guys should know that when it comes to cross-dressing, few pull it off as well as Soap here does. Like, it's boggles my mind.
You really think that?
You generally look good. This is a guy, like, okay, I get why you crossplay. You know, like, other people, like, I watch them, like, they're fucking, like, I want to vomit. And it's not. I remember the first time I saw the fat Sailor Moon cosplayer at Comic-Con. It was eye-opening.
Yeah. Didn't he have a beard?
I don't know. There's a lot of them. There's not just one guy. You know, the guy I saw was just overweight. His skirt was falling down.
That's a shame.
Not something for a 12-year-old kid to see.
How does your skirt fall down if you're too fat?
I don't fucking know. They find ways.
What is he wearing, a muumuu?
That's whatever.
No, but I appreciate that.
Try not to remember.
I do appreciate that. I work really hard at this illusion.
I got to see some of the process at Fanime. I'm just like amazed by just how much work you do.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, because I shared the room in case you forgot.
Well, Fanime was such a traumatic experience.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work out very well.
I mean, you guys are really happy.
Yeah, that's the illusion. We seemed happy.
I guess that's the famous last words. You know.
Our first words. And no, relationships are all horseshit. The best ones are the honest ones, and the honest ones are always miserable.
I think I want to cosplay at some point. Not crossplay. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that.
I wouldn't look good as a chick anyway. Maybe. I mean, I got that kind of innocent face. Maybe.
Well, how many girls do you see that look innocent?
It's true. I can do like a Moe character or something. I don't know.
Moe, as in Three Stooges, with like a Latin twist? What? Moe?
What's that? Isn't that with like an anime girl or something that's like really quiet? Isn't that they call that Moe or something? I don't know. Like innocent looking.
Ugh, fuck that shit.
I don't know. It's like
yeah, people.
I would like to
fantasies.
cosplay though. Is like something I would do. I would want to do like a weird one like G does. Like I would want to do like an uncle from Jackie Chan or like something like that, where people are like, oh, that's original. That's a unique one.
Yeah, I mean, it's unique insofar as not many people have done it.
Yeah, I'm sure like everything's been done, but I would be something like, oh, like hey, like that's a cool reference. Yeah. I wouldn't want to do something like really obscure. That's the one thing where I'll look at a cosplay and I'll like where are you from? I'll get like all insulted. Like, well, obviously I'm the alternate art fighter of like Street Fighter that never came out in America. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to ask a question and shit.
Yeah, I would do stuff like that, but I wouldn't get offended if anyone didn't know it. And I'm used to people not taking pictures of me. At this point, I do it for me.
I would get into it. I think if I was a cosplay, if I was do something like a crazy character, I would just like ham it up. I like doing shit like that. I like to have fun.
Like with like a pork chop or.
Pork chop would be fun. Like from Doug?
No, I was actually. You said ham it up. I'm thinking pork.
Oh, like pork chop.
No, but pork chop from Doug. You know what, dude? I'll be Skeeter. You can be Doug.
Dude, let's fucking do it. Dude, that would be so goddamn funny.
Honk honk. I'd feel like the most boring Skeeter. I'd have like no enthusiasm about anything.
I would. Hey, you might be a better Doug, actually. Maybe I should be Skeeter. You're more ethnic, though. So
I'd have to be the blue-skinned, the obvious Negro. But
so I'd have like a journal. I mean, but I see a lot of quail men though at conventions. So
Quail Man, really?
Quail Man's pretty common.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's a shame. Okay, you know what? I'll be Daria, and you could be her friend. I forget what her name was.
Oh. All right.
If
I ever crossplay, that'll be it. I'll be the Daria friend.
I'd be a perfect. You know what? Maybe I should.
You'd be so good at Daria.
I should do Daria. You know what? I'm going to do Daria for the LCS. I think I really am.
I think I'm gonna do like Bobby from King of the Hill.
He's such a weird child.
Or I could even do like Hank Hill if I really wanted.
Anyone could. I mean,
that's an easy one.
It's an easy voice. Everyone can do it.
do a. I'm thinking about like the funny ones that I could do, like the old like Nick shows, or like.
There weren't that many that were actually good.
Or like the old, even like the old like Cartoon Network.
Again, stuff. I mean, Samurai Jack was the best one. It wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't really funny.
Like Dexter's Lab or something.
I hated that show.
It'd be like Major Glory from Dexter's Lab.
I hated that show so much.
I really liked it. I mean, that was really one of my favorite shows growing up, was Dexter's Lab.
You see, that's the thing. Growing up, I was already grown, so.
That's true. I mean, yeah. I mean, you were probably raised like the '80s stuff, like the Thundercats and the G.I. Joe.
I didn't really like Thundercats.
I love Thundercats.
I like it now. I didn't like it then. I grew up with God. There was the Centurions. Of course, the original Transformers. I remember the original Zelda cartoon.
My God, it was so bad.
No, it wasn't. The actual one, the one that was drawn in Korea, that was actually a pretty good one. It would come on.
You're talking about like, excuse me, princess.
Yeah, I am, and I don't think that was bad. At the time, it was good enough.
I remember me and my friends, like, my friend got, like, the DVD of it, and we decided, like, to make a drinking game. Like, every time he said, excuse me, princess, we would take a shot. We didn't realize we'd be, like, 15 shots in after 20 minutes of the fucking show. Like, we got drunk way faster than we ever thought we could. It was amazing.
There was this one, the Mario Brothers cartoon.
I liked it. I watched the Mario when I was a kid, too. I really liked that one.
They had 3 different ones, and there was one that was so funny. It was, you remember Mouser from Super Mario 2?
Yeah.
Well, they were like having a motorcycle race, and then Mouser like insulted Luigi or something, and he was just like laughing. He was like, ha 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 ha, and he just fell over. And for like a week, I thought that was the funniest thing that had ever been made. Because it's so dumb, and I think that's what inspired some of my comedy, the absurd nothing that seems to happen sometimes.
I'm really influenced by the old cartoons. I mean, that's what I talk about in my Fazio versus anime panel. Is I will talk about like the old cartoons I used to watch, like Rugrats.
Yeah.
I'll show them, and I'll like I'll tell people like, okay, here's what's going on. There's some theory that can actually be used to describe Rugrats. Like the first one, the one I did at Anime Expo, I proved that this episode of Rugrats was about communism. You know. Mm-hmm. I actually made that argument. I would show like exactly what they were talking about, and I love stuff like that. I love looking at these old cartoons and putting some kind of theory behind them, because I feel like, what's the difference between this and like Citizen Kane or like Godfather or something like that?
Did you see the band episode of Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah,
that was a good episode.
Is that the which band one? Because there's a few.
The only one that I know of is the one that was about capitalism and communism, and
yeah.
It was such.
Oh, I mean band, like it was a band episode.
Yeah, it was banned from Cartoon Network.
Okay.
It was such a wonderfully artistic video. Like, it was so creative. It was very avant-garde for its time.
You know, the original name for the Powerpuff Girls was the Whoop-Ass Girls.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Because the original joke when Craig McCracken made the short was that like Professor Utonium accidentally opened up a can of whoop-ass into his creation. Was before like Chemical X, and it was pretty funny.
I hated that guy, Craig McCracken. Like, personally, I hated him. He annoyed the fuck out of me.
I haven't heard any. I mean, he's one of my heroes. I mean,
really?
I really liked, even with other cartoon like Foster's Home. I really liked.
I like that show.
Yeah,
I still like that show. I like Blue. I like Coco. That Mexican bull.
He's drawn porn. Like one of his first cartoons was like this short called No Neck Joe, which is about like almost like a crippled kid or something. And he ended like one of the episodes with him like fucking like 3 chicks.
Curious.
This was like before he got famous with like working on Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, where is he now?
Now he's working on a show for.
You know don't answer it. I don't care.
Well, his wife created my favorite thing ever. You know, that which must not be named. But
Voldemort? Homestuck?
It's the Pony Show.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah.
Really?
His wife created that, yeah.
Oh, I tried watching that. I remember me and Nicole were like watching that. She didn't like it, and I was really trying to tough it out. And I was like, you know,
it's not for everybody.
I see its charm, but fuck it. I don't care about it.
That's all I ask is people watch it. If they don't like it, then it's whatever. I'm not one of those guys like, oh, you have to watch it. I'm not like this crazy bronies that are like the worst goddamn people.
I don't understand the appeal. It befunds me. If that's a word, I'm pretty sure.
I like cartoons, and it's a good cartoon. So.
I like cartoons too, but I like good ones.
There you go.
I liked Avatar.
Avatar's great. Yeah, I like Avatar.
I still watch it. I really like Legend of Korra, and I'm waiting for the next season. But they said the next season was greenlit, but originally it was only written for one season, so I'm not even actually sure if it's going to happen.
They take their time with that show, which definitely shows in the quality.
Yeah, that's good. As everyone rushes things out just for gotta make money. What about telling a story? What about creating something, making people think or expressing?
It's nice having just something on, because Nickelodeon is such a terrible channel now. So it's nice that they actually have something of value on there. Yeah,
I do like the Ninja Turtles though.
That's good.
No, it isn't. One thing I really liked about The Last Airbender was Aang, actually, he was a vegetarian, which isn't as good as vegan. But the fact that they're pointing out different lifestyles for people to explore, and it's just interesting. It's like, you don't have to be one, but the fact that other lifestyles exist, and I like that. It's giving young people a choice. I think that's interesting.
And very few Americans have been able to pull off that anime style in a way that's actually unique and works. And they did a really great job.
I don't like the American manga shit. It's like
it's mostly awful. Like, usually it's pretty terrible with like,
even the good stuff I don't like. Like that one, I don't know. You gotta know what it is. It's just this one chick. She has like a super skin tight outfit, and like she doesn't like wearing it because she's self-conscious about her huge tits. Which makes
it's an American show?
It's an American manga.
Oh, manga.
Whatever they call it. Majin Kar. Or
I don't read American manga.
Horse shit. I don't know what they call it, but
it's pretty bad. It's pretty awful stuff.
I think it's really stupid. If you're hot as hell and you're embarrassed about it, shut up. My dick is huge. You think I'm hiding the boner that I pack sometimes? You think I'm hiding that shit? I'm like walking around thrusting the air just so people get a good glimpse. I think it's funny. Fuck you. That's a good joke.
I like it. No, I was just picturing that, and I got
distracted, like every other viewer who's listening. Listen, I'm a fucking gorgeous guy. What are you gonna do?
You really are, dude. Fucking
don't bullshit me.
Good looking dude.
You're not gay. Don't even say that.
I'm really not. I'm like gay. I'm like every other. I'm like gay without fucking dudes. Gay. Everything else I do is pretty goddamn gay. I'm just not fucking dudes.
Not by what you wear.
It's true. That's okay. There's two things. I have no fashion sense whatsoever. That's how I know I'm not gay, because I look awful.
That was kind of a mean thing to say.
But I accept it. That's like part of who I am. Is I just don't give a shit about fashion or like clothes. I just wear whatever I want.
But I do. I'm surprised.
It looks good on you.
Nobody made fun of me for what I was wearing at the Dub show. I was expecting somebody to say something. Nobody said anything.
It's fucking nerds. They can barely dress themselves. I'll tell you that. I barely dress, I put on a fucking Mario shirt and I call it a day. So that's how I get up.
I'm not like that. I'm very conceited with my own look, I guess you could say.
I remember that episode of Doug where Doug was upset that people were copying his style because like he was like some like Teen Street, some kind of like soap opera show, like the main guy, Dylan Farnham was this guy's name, and he wore Doug's outfit, and people were wearing his outfit, and he was like all upset, and at the end he realized that like everybody looks like everybody else, and everybody kind of dresses like everyone else, and you just deal with it, and that was the message of the show.
I don't remember that episode, but it's true. Like
it's a pretty funny one.
Like I dress goth a lot of the times, and people in the goth community kind of all look the same. So.
It's even like nerds, especially like before you go to a convention, you're a nerd. You think like you're independent, like I'm not one of those cool guys wearing all that stuff. I wear whatever I want. But then you go to a convention, and everybody looks exactly like you.
Yeah.
And, like I go there, like everybody's fucking dressed like me and doing the exact same shit. I'm like,
they smell the same.
Yeah.
And
awful smell.
Yeah, they have the same ratio of receiving oral
I don't
sex.
know why they don't bathe. Like, people are like, I've stayed up like 3 days and didn't bathe. Like, you have a fucking hotel room. Just take a shower. One of those
You know what it is? I'm going to tell you. This is a theory I have. They don't have a woman.
Yeah.
Because,
Even then, like, don't you feel like some kind of personal pride that you just want to be clean or something?
That's because, like, it's probably bad for me to say this now because I'm not in this, I'm not single, but, like, what I would shower, it's not a personal pride, it's because I want to present myself as awesome, because I want people to know that I'm awesome, but they can't have me.
I just don't like feeling dirty, It's just like, if I go like a day, I go like a day without showering, and I don't like that. Like, gross. I'm like, fuck, I want to take a shower.
I don't like that feeling either, but I'm gorgeous, and if I'm clean, I'm even more gorgeous.
It's weird because you still kind of look dirty though.
Oh, gee, thanks.
You've got that look where it's like a sexy dirty kind of look.
That's not a nice thing to say. You can't just say sexy and make sure.
That's super nice.
You can't just put sexy in front of a word and suddenly it becomes a good. You're a sexy Nazi. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
I would fuck a sexy Nazi.
Yeah, you racist cunt. That's not a nice thing to say.
I wouldn't enjoy it, and I would be very upset, but I would do it.
You really think I look dirty? Why is it? Because I'm dark?
I mean, darker skin. Okay, it's like Jimi Hendrix. Kind of had like this dirty appearance, but he was a sexy motherfucker.
I didn't think so.
A lot of people did.
Well, I don't.
Okay.
So my confidence is shattered. What do I got to do? What do I have to do to not look dirty?
I think you look good. I'm not trying to say you don't look good.
I don't want to look dirty. I don't care. I'd rather look ugly and clean than dirty and good.
I mean, maybe it's the clothes you wear. Then you kind of wear the kind of thrift store looking stuff. That's
no.
Is it? I don't fucking know. You're talking to a guy who knows nothing about fashion, trying to describe it.
Do you even pay attention to what I wear?
I don't fucking pay attention to what anybody wears.
I wear stockings, knee-high boots, spikes.
You kind of dress like Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, if he was a woman.
Yeah, that's actually a really good comparison.
I don't even think that's true.
I don't know, dude. Fuck it. I don't know shit about clothes.
No, you really don't.
I wish I did. Actually, no, I don't. I'm really happy that I don't know anything about clothes.
See, this is why we need Anne on the show, but she's not talking to me anymore. I don't know why.
Whatever. People, fuck them.
What could I possibly have done to piss someone off? Oh, wait. that was its own joke.
Oh, fucking. I mean, it's cool, though, coming from you, because we expect you to be that asshole, so it's like, it's almost mainstream. I don't know, when you're an asshole.
I guess. I try to be nice.
You are a nice guy. I mean, I know, you've always helped me out. You've always, been nice to me.
Well, don't say it. I don't want people to believe it, but
okay.
I'm just...
Sorry.
I have an image.
Soap says the most terrible things to me.
Oh,
the listeners. It's like ear rape.
Well, now you're just lying.
But then he puts his penis in my ear. That's Iggy Pop did that.
Did he really?
Well, that's what that song "Lust for Life" is about. Getting fucked in the ear.
By it like a penis?
Yeah.
How do you get any enjoyment out of that? Wouldn't that hurt you?
I don't know, but I just know the line says, "Of course, I've had it in the ear before."
I'm gonna have to try that.
Give it a shot.
What could it possibly feel like? That's a weird thing to think about. Is it like putting your dick in a clam?
What do you get, like wax on it?
Well, I don't know how small your dick is, but mine would not fit into the ear canal.
Well, I guess it depends on if you're feeling like a Dumbo-looking person or something. I guess that's kind of mean.
I mean, my girlfriend doesn't have big ears at all, but I'm like, now I gotta try that.
Hey, a hole's a hole, man.
It's not really a hole though, because the membrane keeps it. It's more like a ditch.
Well, let me know what it's like.
I will.
Give me some notes.
Yeah, I'll probably just put on the podcast. Say, okay, so I fucked my girlfriend in the ear, and didn't go anywhere.
You should record it as it's happening.
That's what.
Here, give me a play-by-play of what's going to happen.
We've actually talked about that. I don't know if you listen to Opie and Anthony.
I don't. I should, but I don't.
There's an episode where Jim Norton fingers Stalker Patty live on the air, and it's just the coolest shit. And I kind of want to do something like that with my girlfriend because I don't give a shit. And so we've actually been planning something. I don't know what, but we're gonna do something. So maybe that'll be it. I'll fuck her in the ear. So
well, if you need a commentator,
but it's not the same if you're not there to actually see it. It doesn't quite work. I don't know. Not that I want you to see it.
Well, no. If you decide to make a porno of it, though.
Oh no, we're definitely doing that.
Yeah.
We're doing a couple of those. Like I've actually like planning like with screenplays and everything.
Just give me that instead of the $5 for writing your joke.
No, that's something I need.
All right.
Like that, because that's like a challenge. If you think you can do it, I want to see if you.
It's gonna be the funniest goddamn thing you've ever read.
I doubt that.
Okay, I doubt it too. I mean, it's not gonna be like Garfield funny. That's like the funniest stuff.
Well, Garfield's pretty funny. I mean, the cartoon was.
It is until you kind of realize. Well, the comic, it's the same goddamn joke, you know, over and over.
The cartoon was good.
The cartoon was actually good.
Remember that episode where it was all about mistakes?
No, I don't know.
Oh, dude. Garfield's been a very bad dog lately. I'm going to teach him a lesson she'll never forget.
I like the animals in the farm.
Lucky Acres or...
Wacky Acres. I like the duck that had like the...
He had the duck.
The tube.
Yeah.
That would like mimic his face.
Yeah, the duck.
I thought it was so cool as a kid.
In his floaty thing. And then Sheldon. And his brother...
Who's still stuck in the egg. That was funny.
That was Sheldon.
His brother was the chick.
The chick, yeah. And who was the rooster? What was it? Roy? Was his name,
Roy. The rooster's like an arrogant prick.
And,
which is funny.
What was the pig's name?
It wasn't Hampton.
No, Hampton was Tiny Toons.
That was Tiny Toons.
Yeah, it's Tiny Toons.
Great show. I love Tiny Toons.
Yeah, that was a really good show.
I really like Tiny Toons.
I really want to know what the name of that fucking pig was. It was like something like a normal... It was like Todd or something.
Was it like Howard? Howie?
I don't know. The sheep? Why are you always disagreeing with me? I never disagree with you. You just disagreed with me. No, I didn't.
The twin sheep or whatever.
Yeah, they're funny.
Yeah, and the bow and shit. Yeah, it was, okay, maybe I'll take back Garfield. Garfield's pretty funny.
What was it called? 1,000 Acres?
I think it was called like Wacky Acres or something like that. It was some kind of pun like that, like wacky something.
I remember. It was Acres. Acres was in the title.
Yeah.
And, we're both online. We could Google it, but we're not.
I'll
leave that for the...
I'm definitely not going to do that.
If any of you are listening to this point, it's 2 hours and 30 minutes in or so.
Just give us a call if you're listening this far in. Well, clearly you love us if you're listening 2 hours.
And if you are listening this far, and you probably have my phone number, so you probably could call me, but
I feel like you guys are stalking us now. If you've gone far, I'm a little worried.
I just want to get an email. No one has emailed me. No one cares, and I keep trying to promote it. My girlfriend says, it takes time. It takes a lot of time, and it's like she's right. Unless I buy tits like Yaya Han, which
I feel like at least for the first year, you're not going to be getting anywhere with these unless you hit some kind of luck with these podcasts. It just takes time.
Hasn't it been a year
since you've been doing these? Maybe it has.
I've been doing it since last Fanime.
It's almost a year. So it's been like 8 months then at least. Okay, so it's almost a year.
Wow, I've actually been doing this for a year, almost.
Well, then Fanime, maybe that'll be the day. Maybe that'll be when you start getting noticed of these podcasts.
I want to do the roasts panel at Fanime, and that's going to be live on the podcast.
That'll be fun.
I want to record that on the podcast somehow. I have to find out how to do that.
I'll plug myself. I will be at Fanime, most likely doing another Fazio versus anime. I guess Danny's going to be doing the dub show, which is great because I usually do it at Fanime. So he'll be taking over, which will put a lot off my plate. So I'm excited about that.
What about the comedy club?
I'll be doing that. I already messaged the guy telling him I'm interested.
So did I, but I don't think I'm going to get it. They hate me there.
Yeah, you're funny. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I know I'm funny, but they don't know that.
Fuck Fanime, whatever.
They don't think I'm funny.
It's fucking dumb, and I had to say I hate panels. With most panels I go to are like the most boring goddamn things I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. Like I went to a My Little Pony panel at Fanime last year, and they were spending 20 minutes just describing the characters of the show. I'm like, we're fucking fans. We watch this shit 500 times a day, and you're going to tell us the goddamn characters in boring ass PowerPoint.
it's really hard to find an interesting panel.
That's why I do my Fazio versus anime. I call it the anti-panel because I don't use any PowerPoints. It's almost like it's really freeform, and I show these videos and I'll like talk about them, have the audience participate and shit. Like I really try to make it like the anti-panel, like something that's interesting. And
The worst part about audience participation is everyone thinks they're a comedian, and they're not. Well,
I shut them down. If somebody tries to be funny, that actually happened to me a few times when I've done this panel where somebody tried to be funny or make something. I'll hit it. If it's not funny, I'll hit them down. Like some girl was trying to make some kind of reference. She's saying like, are you like a 1? It's like, are you like a 1 out of 10 or something like that? It's like, are you talking about my sexy level right now? Are you saying I'm not a fucking 10, you piece of shit, or some comment like that? And everybody was laughing at it. So
that isn't a very creative thing. Not you, but I mean, are you a 1 out of 10? Yeah, real creative Dumbo. Why don't you go sit back down? Sit down before you fall down.
Exactly. Yeah.
You dumb cunt. I could be like the perfect Robin for your Howard Stern little show there.
I think it could be fun. I'm trying to get Damien to do one of them with me. He just moved up to Sacramento.
Oh, my sister lives up there. I can see.
Got engaged.
Yeah, I know. I heard about that. I'm so sorry.
So he's living with his girlfriend right now in Sacramento. He's going to try and move out to L.A. in like 6 months.
I feel so bad for him. I know you're not supposed to, but I
can't. He tells me they're in love.
I know, that's the worst.
I
know, and I know that's a good thing, but for me, it's just like I feel so bad for him.
I don't know. I haven't known a chick that well where I'd even want to think about something like that. I haven't been that kind of in love.
I've been through it 3 times, and I'm just done.
I've never been in love with anybody, I don't think.
Oh, my God.
I've always been in lust, and I thought it was love, and I just realized I just wanted to have sex with them.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've never wanted to fuck anyone. I only want to fuck you if I love you. That's the weirdest thing.
See, I'll fuck anything. I'm pretty easy.
Like a cactus?
Yeah, I'll fuck a cactus.
Danny? You fuck Danny?
Let's do it. Yeah, sure.
Would you draw the line there? You wouldn't? You wouldn't draw the line? His big head?
He doesn't respect me.
Really? You think he doesn't?
He probably does. I don't know. I think it's...
I think he doesn't respect me.
I think there's too much competition in comedy. I think we're treating this like the fighting game community treats, and we don't want to use that, because the fighting game community is like the worst group of people in the world. And I'll be insulting a lot of guys who may listen to this podcast and really be into the fighting game community, but from what I understand, they're very racist, they're very sexist, very angry people, very competitive, and and a lot of that describes some of the comedy scene.
It's easy to talk shit when you have a computer screen in front of you and the person is in that. It's easy to talk shit if you're not going to get punched in the face. But
there's nothing wrong with competition, but every interaction can't be based off like, I'm going to beat you at Anime Expo, and then just never talk to each other again. Like, that's not how you get better at comedy.
Nah, I never say I'm going to beat anyone. I never. In terms of this comedy thing,
I'm not talking about. You're always the exception when I'm talking about this stuff, and I know you know that. So,
well, I just say it because I'm conceited and I like talking about myself.
I'm with it. I'm just as conceited. I'm okay now with being conceited. I was bothered by it, but now I'm like, whatever. Just let the product speak for itself. You can be whoever you want. As long as what you're creating and what you're doing is good. I think. I know I'm a nice guy, maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not a nice guy.
I guess you are. I don't know.
But talking about, this fighting shit, this competition. I mean, it's great that it's getting people to, do comedy, but it doesn't really look like it's making anybody better at comedy.
No, it's not really cranking out the funny people.
Isn't that what competition's supposed to do? Is like make people funnier instead of like more racist and shit?
It's supposed to. I remember back in 2009, I think it was. No. 2010. You remember that? What was her name? She had the balloons.
Oh yeah, I made fun of her in my set.
Yeah. I was pointing out. I was giving someone else advice about going on stage and my take on it. And the way I see it is when you go out there and control them. Take control, demand respect, control them and everything. And she like made fun of me about how, because comedy is such a serious thing. And I was like, was I even talking to you? I mean, who the fuck are you?
Of course, it's a fucking competition. Like, why would you, whatever. Like, well, clearly that's why she didn't win, because she doesn't give a shit. And I hate people with that attitude. Like, It's like when you it's like when I'll talk about a movie, and I love talking about movies with like Damien. We'll talk about like somebody else, or some just guy, and they're like, oh, well, it's just a movie. It's just whatever. You don't have to think so hard about it. And I'm like, fuck you. I want to think hard about it because I like this shit.
Yeah, you don't have to, but I choose to. Because for me, it's a career.
You're not better than me because you're somehow just because you don't like to look at movies as smart doesn't mean you're any better than me. Which it's a weird argument where people are like, oh, I'm better than you because I know nothing about this topic. That's such a weird fucking argument.
Yeah, speaking of, I don't want to get into this because we need to wrap this up pretty soon.
This is like the longest goddamn talk.
But I want to say...
Fun. I enjoyed it.
I want to say I like Eraserhead.
Yeah.
It's so...
I still got to see Eraser. I'm a terrible film study. I'm a fucking terrible director. I haven't even seen Eraserhead.
I like it. It's weird. It's strange. And it's hard to decipher the point of it. But there is a point of it.
It's David Lynch. It's what you have to deal with.
I like David. Yeah, I remember seeing one of his first shorts where he was a nurse, and he was like trying to fix a gushing wound from some woman who was smoking on the phone and didn't notice that he was. It was funny in a not funny way. It was weird. I loved it. I like David Lynch. Well,
what people don't really get about David Lynch is that he's not actively trying to be weird or confuse the audience. Like he talked to him, this is literally just how he thinks. Like in his mind, okay, this is what I want, this is what I want to present. Here are all my ideas, and here's the movie. And a lot of people just will watch I'm going to make a weird movie too. It's like, no, he's not trying to make a weird, confusing movie just to be weird and confusing. That's just who he is, and that's the movie that he wants to make.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do with my pornos.
Yeah.
The second one that I'm going to make after the first one.
I think pornos need more story.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think so.
I'm trying to call it anti-porn because it's not a porno. It's a movie with non-simulated sex, and there's one scene where the two lead characters are having actual sex, and then it's interrupted by the doorbell, and then everyone in the scene. The cameramen, the gaffers, everybody breaks character and goes to the door. The two lead characters are naked. One of the cameramen is still filming because you have to get this in the shot. Everyone else broke production, and it's a pizza guy. And the next scene after that, I really want to pay off an actual pizza person to sit through the scene while the lead actors, the gaffers, all the staff are eating pizza silently for a good 10 seconds. That's the whole scene. And I think it's funny.
Yeah, no, that sounds like, what's that guy, Waters?
I don't know.
That's the guy who did Hairspray.
I don't
the
know.
movie, the original, not the musical.
I don't know.
But it's another, he's a weird porno guy, too. He did, these really weird movies when people would have, sex, and they're really bizarre cult kind of films.
Yeah, I think
David
that's what
Waters,
it's set for.
I think is his name. David Waters. Or something Waters.
I think I'm destined to be kind of a respected unknown nobody, if that makes any sense.
It's not a bad position. I mean...
It doesn't earn you any money.
It marks you in history.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's got to have some kind of...
Yeah, so I'll be famous when I'm dead. Ooh. Meanwhile I can't feed myself.
And that's what I really want. I mean, being rich would be amazing and successful, would be the greatest thing in the world. But I really want to put my footprint down on this planet. I want to have that great set or that great film that people remember me for.
I want to put my footprint down on this planet so much that the planet is chopped in half. That's my way of looking at it.
We're there, dude.
I want to destroy.
I think we can do it. I think we can kill the planet if we try hard enough.
Okay, we gotta wrap this up. I need to pass out.
I'm going to bed.
Okay, yeah. I'll have you back another time. That's the podcast, everyone. Thanks, Fazio, for being on it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for everyone who listened, and we're done. Piss off. All right, that's it.
Cool.